Welcome, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
HUDRadio.com, live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios like we are every Wednesday night. BMW of Atlantic City, we're up exit 37 in the Parkway. Find them online, BMW of Atlantic City.com. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make him yours, Gibson Mayer, LLC. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Milwakovic, the guy behind the guy in the producer's chair. You'll never know who the guy is. Maybe at some point we can reveal him or her, however you want to play that one.
It,
yeah. You know how we do things. Okay. Time permitting, we'll talk about some season-ending injuries around the NFL. Edelman, Spencer Ware, Cameron Meredith.
Yeah, from the Bears.
Zeke's on trial. Right, Zeke's on trial with the NFL, trying to get his suspension reduced from 6 to who knows what. Or if it might hold up at 6. We'll talk about that if we have time. The money fight. We have to talk about it. It was a great fight. And in my opinion, it was the most anticipated boxing match in the last 15 years. And I feel, or maybe 12, but nobody can tell me otherwise. You can't sell me on Pacquiao, Mayweather being better fights. More enticing. I'm saying, I just feel like it was a more enticing
bigger
fight.
Audience.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the fight.
Audience.
It brought boxing back to where I was actually excited, me personally, to get back in the ring. So we'll get into that later on. And we'll talk about the greatness.
Did you get back in the ring?
I got back in the ring.
You got back in the ring?
I got back in the ring.
My man.
Yeah.
How many rounds you go?
One. You know what I mean? One and done. I don't got the stamina. I don't have the footwork. Rise Hoskins, Phil's rookie slugger.
You don't like his name, do you?
Who, Rise?
Reese.
Rise. I mean, how's it sound? Rise. Rise.
You're all about the phonetic pronunciation.
Whatever. I don't give a shit about his name. Does he hits?
I botched his name 12 times the first 12 times I saw him. So
Reese Hoskins. It's a
good.
real simple adjustment. I mean, listen, it's the teleprompter. I read what's in front of me. Yeah, I mean, whatever you put in front of me, he's going to read.
What's the first rule of teleprompter? You write it.
I got no goddamn
Don't talk about teleprompter.
I got no goddamn notes. I got his name in front of me.
You write it the way it's pronounced. He clearly does not do that.
He doesn't do it. But listen, what he does do is flat out hit the cover off the baseball and a stretch.
You're damn right he does.
A history stretch. A history-making stretch that he's been on. It's been something special to watch. We'll get into his historic feat and others. Is that you? Yeah, it got me.
No, it's not me.
Is that you?
No, who's him?
All right. We'll talk about that later. What do you expect? J.P. Crawford possibly coming up. You talk about Freddie Galvis. Mike was talking to us earlier about playing center field today. A guy who, we were talking about. I'm starting to like the kid. He just wants to play. And he'll do anything. He's a team guy. I'll keep a guy like that with me every day of the week and find somewhere to play him, if not as a utility guy.
And he had 4 chances in center field today, handled all 4 of them pretty clean. I mean, he's not smooth out there, but he gets the job done.
And a little something we played, I believe, the first time maybe the second time we ever did a show together, a little 5 up, 5 down when you talk about the Eagles' 53-man roster. I guess 5 guys that are in danger of being cut and 5 may be surprises that you see. We'll get into that. But our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. Is LeGarrette Blount in danger of being cut by the Eagles? Yes or no? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. Gentlemen, has anything changed with this subject recently?
You
guys?
I actually think yes.
Okay.
Now, should he be in danger? No, I don't believe he should. But is he? Yes, I believe he actually is. I think if you look at the trend that we've been seeing with the Eagles over the last, call it 5 days, they're moving veteran salaries and kind of anywhere that they can go with a younger, cheaper player where there's not going to be a ton of drop-off at the position. They're going young. They're putting some money back in their pockets, maybe so they can extend an Alshon Jeffrey, maybe just in case an injury happens during the season. Gotta love it. But, I mean, obviously we saw John Dorenbos traded in favor of Rick Lovato, which is going to save them $1 million. Ron Brooks got cut today. There's a really good chance that Donnie Jones gets cut tomorrow or on Friday after the last preseason game, and they go with the kid out of Ohio State, Cameron Johnston. It's a situation with LeGarrette Blount where if they cut him before the season starts, the only thing that hits their salary cap is his signing bonus. And if they're sold on Corey Clement and they don't want to lose Donnell Pumphrey, one running back has to go, and by process of elimination, I think it's LeGarrette.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're dead on. You know, the little subtle moves, the Dornbos is only saving you $1 million. So at some point, when you start trying to shed pennies per se for an NFL contract, you know, it's one of those things where now everybody is on the hot seat. You know, those guys that are middling around and haven't had the greatest preseason are now, my job's in jeopardy because, as Mike, you know, as you said, they're starting to shed a little salary here, a little salary there.
Well, a little here and a little there adds up to, hey, maybe we can extend someone. I mean, you know, like we were just talking before we went on the air when we got the alert that Steven Means got an extension. Well, does Steven Means getting an extension, does that mean that maybe Vinny Curry is gone? Who knows? I don't think he should be. Does it mean they decided not to keep Chris Long? Who knows? Big offseason signing, but you know, how many defensive ends is this team going to keep? Yeah. I mean, it's if it's a situation where they're looking at the deep 2s and 3s on their depth chart, or guys like a long snapper who get on the field for 12 goddamn plays a game, but our entire fan base is going to be up in arms over a long snapper getting traded, which is freaking ridiculous, by the way. I mean, the money adds up, and if it's gonna allow you to sign a corner later in the season when somebody gets hurt, or if it's going to allow you to extend an Alshon Jeffrey or something like that, I'm all for it.
Listen, I have no reason to cut him. I have zero reason to cut him. I mean, I signed him for a reason. I signed him to solidify my short yardage game. I didn't sign him to run stretch run plays. I didn't sign him to run tosses. I signed him to hit a hole and go. I mean, I signed LeGarrette Blount for one reason and one reason only. Goal line situations. A power back at the goal line. An experienced power back at the goal line. For me, there's zero reason to cut him when he's on a 1-year deal. That money gets freed up at the end of the year anyway, and you can still sign guys when the season's over too. You can sort of have handshake agreements with guys like, this money's gonna come off the books, we're gonna restructure with you, whatever the case may be. Well, and you don't need to get rid of him to do it. I mean,
and I think you're spot on, which is why I'm saying, should he be cut? No. But when I look at the signs, I think all the signs are leading to it being a very strong possibility.
Well, I mean, maybe, but that's also reading in the getting excited over preseason. Or vice versa. We've all made the mistake. Not saying you have,
right?
But as fans, like we get wrapped up in the Corey Clements of the world. I'm not saying he's not a good little running back. I'm not saying that. I know who LeGarrette Blount is, though. I know who he is. I don't know who Corey Clement is. I'll hide him on my practice squad if I can. If somebody picks him up, they pick him up. But I'm going to go with the guy I know because I need experience in my backfield. I need veteran, power back, physical mentality, downhill style in my backfield, and a guy who won a ring too, regardless on the goat playing with the GOAT or not, right. Still was around a winning environment. That matters. That matters to me
it
for a young football team. And I'm not gonna get rid of LeGarrette Blount to keep the only one. I mean, to keep Humphrey or Clement if it came down to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not cutting him for either one of them.
Well, I think
it's up to them two to beat each other out.
And we talked a little bit about this last week. There's no reason that they can't have Donnell Pumphrey go on IR with, a sprained ankle, designated to return after week 6, and just buy themselves a little more time.
Right.
I mean, you don't. I believe that you don't have to have full medicals on a guy unless he's going on season-long IR. If he's going on IR designated to return, your training staff, their word is good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those interesting, what can we pass through in an injury? Do you say, hey, take a hit, tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens. I wasn't
Stay down.
Yeah, I
wasn't
a huge fan of the Blount signing in general.
Well, I'm not going to crown the signing. I wasn't over. So, it was what it was to me.
Yeah, but so I'm not overly this guy needs to be on their team. I was never like that.
Well, because stop. No. I'm gonna cut you off because you're Mr. 7 and 9, 8 and 8. So at the end of the day, of course you don't care because he doesn't make your football team better right now. So of course you know what I mean. So of course you're gonna say it doesn't matter to you. But for us guys out there that believe this team can win 10 games, 11 games, to us on the other side of it,
sure,
we need him on this football team.
I get that. I just didn't think he fit the offense. with what they were trying to do. I didn't think he fit the offense.
Listen, big dog. You know what fits offense is? Guys who can score in the red zone. Guys who can score in the goal line. They'll fit any offense.
He wants to pass
I can
50
find
times,
it. I can
though.
go.
Doug wants to pass all the time.
Well, listen, stop. What do you mean Doug wants to pass all the time? You're going to put the ball in your best player's hands. If that best player is your quarterback, then you're going to throw a little bit. And it's a West Coast offense style when you're talking about some shorter throws as the run game. We've been down this road with Andy.
But when has Andy ever had a huge back like that?
Dude, he's here for one reason. He's here for specific freaking reasons. You 7-9, go ahead. I'll take my chances with Clement and Pumphrey. And just because Pumphrey's small doesn't mean he's Darren Sproles' goddamn replacement to the public out there too. Not to you. Not everything's directed at you. Just the other thing. The other thing was. It was really directed. Could you bring my mood down? You're 7-9 talking. You know, I see you in the book today. We're about to do a great show talking Eagles. I got this guy out here, Negadelphi himself, 7-9, 8-8 at best. It's over. I'm ready for the draft.
I'm not saying it's
over. No, I saw what you wrote.
No, you're right.
The world saw what you wrote today. It
that.
wasn't appropriate.
No,
it wasn't appropriate coming into the show. You do that tomorrow after the show. You go negative.
Are you Johnny Negadelphia?
I am not.
You're getting there. Getting there.
Then call me that. I don't care.
No, but for that way of thinking, though, in terms of that's how you feel about that football team, I understand that thought process. It's like, well, no, he's not going to, I don't need to keep him. It's just for the guys who believe that they can win some football games. I want him just for that reason because I feel like he can help in spots. I mean, what was our Achilles heel last year? 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s.
Yeah.
Right?
The short yardage.
I mean, we seen the act. Sproles ain't getting it. Okay? You need a power back sometimes. Even if you can run a 4th and 1 play action like Gary, you know how much that opens up? Guys crash because they're worried about him getting that yard. They're going to crash in. And I don't see that with these other guys. I like Smallwood. I do like Wendell Smallwood, but the other two, the rooks don't overly excite me one way or the other.
Yeah, we have some comments on the YouTube already. Mr. Poogs, what's up, fellas? Is 5 running backs on the roster unheard of? Is it unheard of? Yeah, it probably is unheard of, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
One's got to be a special teams stud.
A stud.
Outside of Sproles.
And the other one will there's probably 1 or 2 that'll be deactivated on game days.
And if you're going 5 there, you got to cut out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And where else you cut it?
Well, that could be the reason, though, why they started playing Jalen Watkins at corner again. I think maybe they're looking at him as a swingman, whether it be safety or corner. If they keep Jalen Watkins on the roster, maybe they can afford an extra wide receiver or an extra running back. We also have Jacob Loss. Jake says, what up, guys? Clement or Smallwood.
What's up, buddy?
I'd love to have them both, actually. I don't want to choose between the two of them, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's easy for me.
I would take Clement and Smallwood and get rid of Pumphrey.
Okay, but hypothetical gun to your head. Like, you know what I mean? You never put a gun to your therapist's head.
Right.
Hypothetical gun.
Well, gun.
What movie? What movie? It's a great one. Couples Retreat. Great one.
Oh, nice.
Great one.
I lost it.
Well, let's play a little game.
Hypothetical gun to my head, it's got to be Smallwood.
That you keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, we're good there. I just wanted to see where you guys stood on that because I'm sure there's people out there that'll go, "Oh, Clement.
He's from South Jersey and he's a story and he's been so good in the preseason because it's preseason."
Corey Miller chiming in on the Facebook, bro. We need 10 wins. Period. We got to make the playoff. No excuses. I can play there. That's where I'm at. That's the stance I'm in. That's the corner. If we're talking boxing later, that I'm standing in, and that's my corner. I might go sit across the goddamn room from you because you're just bringing me.
There's going to be like a right jab that just gets snapped off in a second.
Jonathan Adam, he's a known commodity. He will be there just for that, the power option.
Agreed.
Right? Yeah. Jim Shingleton, sorry. How many times last year did the Eagles get inside the 5 and have to kick a field goal? That's why Blunt was signed. Agreed. Keep going. Ray Luca.
Did they lose it?
Keep going. We'll bring him in. Fire him away.
Did they lose a game in Baltimore because they couldn't get a 2-point conversion at the gun?
But Greg's okay with 7-9. Greg's okay with that. Ray Luca. I think we're going to win a lot more than people think. Everybody hates us. All 31 other teams and the NFL. Sure, I'll run with that. But I think we are going to win more games than people think.
Is he a woe is me guy?
No, that's fine. Well, until we win, woe away. Do what you got to do to get through it. It's tough.
You know what?
It's tough.
I love Philly fans, but I hate the woe is me guys.
No, I get it. I mean, it's like we're abused sometimes. Sometimes we're abused.
It gets old.
Are you a woe is me guy?
Old.
No, hell no.
You better not be.
No, because I know what I want. It never happens, but I know what I want.
We want to be riding on the back of the Budweiser Budweiser train on.
I'm going to be riding on the goddamn Clydesdale with Barrel again.
With Patty.
With Patty B, the Babe. Christian Carroll. God forbid Wentz gets hurt, but if he does, it's pretty safe to say the reason he's saying, I guess, the season's over. Foles can't stay healthy as a backup anyway.
Well, you mentioned
for
that
the most
last
part.
week when we were talking about backup quarterbacks, and I believe you had said that if they get past Wentz, they're done anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
I think you can go to 32 teams around the 31 others and ask them the same question, and you're probably going to get the same answer. We're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I think that's just fair. I mean, maybe Houston, we talk about the, kid,
Yeah.
Watson behind.
It might be a blessing for
Behind
them.
Savage. Yeah. Knees down. You threw your knee out. Okay.
Oh, my bad.
Deshaun, get out there. Lenny Robinson.
But hold on a second before you move on.
I only got, yep.
Just so we're all on the same page and in agreement with this, you do realize that after McGloin and Dane Evans completely shit the bed tomorrow night, the Kaepernick talk up in this city is going to get all kinds of hot again, and there's no reason for it. We've all talked about it. We all agree. It's a circus. And our producer or produceress, you don't know, said he's a bum. So, but before everybody gets all up in arms, understand the Kaepernick talk is going to be there, and it shouldn't be because it's a circus.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, what is
It's
it? What
already
is,
there.
you know what's a goddamn circus over on the Gram last night, with Ron Parker? Or Rob Parker?
yeah.
Rob, right? Rob Parker. I think it's Rob Parker.
You know what? Whatever he was smoking,
After
he
that
can spell his
last
name
night,
however
That's
he
your brother.
wants.
That's your brother. What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Listen, I remember my first time never watching football because that's a disgrace of a comment to say Kaepernick's better than Matthew Stafford.
I was going to say, can I map this out and then let you take it?
Please.
So Matthew
The guy has
Stafford,
joints in his mouth.
Matthew Stafford,
Not me.
signs a contract to be the highest paid player in the NFL.
Yes.
And shortly thereafter, this guy, where was he from? FS1 or something like that?
He's on
Yeah.
the herd sometimes.
Oh,
with
well, and that
Howard.
automatically makes him a jabron. So this guy then comes out with the comment who says,
Colin Kaepernick would be better for the Lions than Matthew Stafford. Straight face.
it's the most moronic thing I've ever heard.
Straight face. And I had a guy argue with me on the gram that Kaepernick's better, trying to give me stats. I said,
There's no
dude,
shot.
watch football for 5 minutes. Okay, you're going to tell me Matthew Stafford never won a playoff game. Okay, that's fine. I'm in agreement there. But I'm not in agreement that the guy's doesn't have all the tools you look for in a freaking quarterback. That's it. He can flat out sling it. He carried that football team on his back last year. The only reason the Detroit Lions were a playoff team was because of Matthew Stafford.
Sure.
Watch some goddamn tape before you come on for your goddamn left-wing goddamn agenda or whatever. Right wing. I don't know what freaking wing it is because I don't play the wing sides, okay? But all I know, stop with the agenda. Stop with nonsense comments to draw attention to somebody who doesn't even need to be talked about, all right? That's it. I understand he's better than a lot of backups in this league. I get it all. But nobody's going to freaking bring him in as a distraction to their number one quarterback to bring him in as a backup. We all know it.
My man,
So why?
he's not playing the wings. He's taking it right up the middle.
Yeah, I'm shoving it right up the wings' asses.
With a Larry Blunt.
Yeah, I'm
with LeGarrette Blunt.
I'm freaking LeGarrette out here.
That's right.
Hammering, but it's just unrealistic. It's not unrealistic. It's ridiculous.
And
it's unprofessional comments out of a guy who claims he's a sports guy. You should stop. Stop covering sports.
And there's no offensive scheme that Matt Stafford cannot play.
No, and I'm not.
He's an upper tier quarterback.
People can crush me. He's deserving of the money he got because that's how it goes. It's always going to go up. There's somebody else who's going to get paid more than
Kirk
Matthew
Cousins
Stafford.
is going to be the next
Yeah,
one,
so
you know?
I'm not worried about the money. The guy's deserving. This one, stay in Detroit because he's done a lot. And listen, I thought the best thing for Matthew Stafford was Calvin Johnson almost retiring.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think when you're a quarterback and you have that great of a number one wideout, where are your eyes always going to go? Where are your eyes always going to go? It's human nature. We think it's a video game. It ain't.
He became
You know,
a better quarterback last year with Calvin Johnson gone.
having to spread it, going through his progressions better, not taking as many chances where he would throw it up in situations
And look,
to Calvin.
we're not crowning this guy the next
No.
Joe Montana.
No.
But he did. He became a better quarterback last year without Calvin Johnson. And, I mean, let's face it. I mean, the guy is always on the field. He's durable. I mean, unless he's got something that is completely broke to the point where he can't move or he can't throw.
He plays.
He's on the field. And we say it all the time. The biggest and best ability is availability. And he is 100% available to his team all the time.
All the time.
He played last year with a broken thumb or
Yeah.
or finger on his throwing hand.
And that's why he struggled a little bit down the stretch, but
Yeah.
he was on fire.
It's crazy to say though that a quarterback becomes better when one of the greatest receivers of
all time isn't around. Well, I tell
but
you,
it's the truth.
It's the Odell thing. It's the Odell thing in New York.
It's the truth because they never surrounded those two with anybody else.
Well, that's also
what I mean.
Well, if Detroit had another weapon, Calvin Johnson would probably still be playing, and Matthew Stafford would be a better quarterback.
Oh, no question about it.
I mean, they haven't had a running game since Barry Sanders retired.
No, it's been,
and they've only had one target for how many years? So
it's been an open door, or definitely a revolving door there.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what they did last year. I mean, they had Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, Eric Ebron came on. They had Theo Riddick out of the backfield, plus Amir Abdullah carrying the ball. Now they have this kid who's on the hype train, this Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, they do it every year.
And I'm not a Detroit fan, but I only see them getting better. And to say that Stafford's not worth that money, or that Kaepernick, to quote the video that we posted last night, that's not true.
Yeah, I'm a man. Lenny Robinson about talking about LeGarrette Blount. All depends on coach's confidence in Clement in terms of keeping them maybe over them, and talking about Joe Hayden. I can't believe they didn't send a private jet with a naked woman and millions in it to pick up Hayden. But yeah, LeGarrette Blount running them stretch plays, not the right way.
I agree with that.
I would be willing to bet that the Eagles called about Hayden immediately. If he got released by Cleveland, there was no way that he wasn't going to Pittsburgh. There were people, and I'm not going to accuse Pittsburgh of tampering, but there were people from Pittsburgh that were already in Joe Hayden's ear as soon as the rumors started that he may get released.
Well, sure, it's close, and he finally wants to win.
And
Pittsburgh, one thing they usually do is
and
win.
he wants to stay in the division and stick it to his former team twice a year.
Of course.
I was reading
an easy stick too. You know what I mean?
Reading that someone said the Eagles, although their name kept getting out there, were not actually involved in anything, which shocks me.
Well, no, it is shocking.
I
would imagine
a guy like that comes out, you have to make the phone call.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure they did make the call. Whether it went beyond a phone call, we won't know.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe that's where it stopped, which is why everything is being said that way. But I mean, knowing their corner situation and the fact that because he was waived, Cleveland has to pick up the first $4 million of whatever deal he plays on this year. I mean, it's a no-brainer to whoever signed him.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's been Howie. Howie's been trying to go after Joe Hayden for a while now. I mean, I believe it's been about 2 years where Howie Roseman has been knocking down Cleveland's door to try to get Joe Hayden. Just hasn't worked out. They haven't been able to work it out. It would have been a great pickup for 1 year. I don't know about the 3 years if I need to go there with Sidney Jones coming back next year. I didn't need. Joe Hayden would have been great this year, maybe next year. But now you're taking kids further back if you sign them longer. Some kids that you want to play and get out there and put them in spots, you're not able to with Joe Hayden, especially when you talk about Sidney Jones and Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby. You want them guys to be on the football field next year. So, it is what it is. I would have liked to see the deal get done, but we've seen it before. I mean, we've had our chances with corners, and we brought in expensive guys, and it hasn't worked out. So I'm okay with not overpaying and putting too many years on a guy who's already 28.
Namdi.
A couple more interesting.
Yeah, not to say Hayden's Nandi, but close.
Couple more
Maybe.
Interesting comments on the YouTube chat. Mr. Poogs, damn hard to cut Clement considering how well he's been playing, but it's a cold business. Jacob Loss kind of went a little different route. I'd probably see what Nelson can do first couple weeks in the slot. If he doesn't show up, put Hollins in. I agree with that.
Nelson's going to show up. So
yeah. Chris, Philadelphia, need a beefy dude to carry the rock on 3rd and 1. That would be LeGarrette. This is one I like. Jacob Loss again. I hate when people think teams don't sign.
Later, it.
I hate when people.
Thanks, brother.
People
I gave
think
it away.
teams don't
I
sign.
brothered it.
Nah, he's all right.
Lock that behind you. You don't mind? You never know who comes walking through the goddamn door. Somebody wants airtime. Sorry, go ahead.
I hate when people think teams don't sign Cap because of the racist thing. It definitely plays a role, but he's really not that great anymore, and teams don't want the circus, which we are fully on board with that. Mr. Poogs, I honestly think Jalen Mills is a better corner than Hayden right now. We'll agree to disagree on that one. And the Steelers overpaid.
What were the final numbers on it? For what?
It's $9 million, but again, Cleveland's responsible for the first $4 million of that. So
I don't know if they overpaid. I mean, Pittsburgh's in a situation where they needed that. We just went out and got Darby. If we didn't go out and get Darby, then we better go get him.
Yeah.
It better not even be a question. Going to get Darby, I'm a little more comfortable with what we have going on. Would I love to see Patrick Robinson cut tomorrow, or your fourth guy, and Mills go into the slot? Okay, but maybe they're more comfortable with Mills on the outside,
right.
and both Mills and Darby on the outside, and they don't. Maybe there's a situation there too where it's like, well, talking to Jim Schwartz, are you comfortable with Mills as a slot guy?
Well, if you
maybe
went-
he likes him more on the outside. So you got to factor them kind of things into it too.
This is what we call in the biz a teaser. If you really want to see Patrick Robinson cut, you're going to like my 5 up, 5 down.
All right. I don't know if I necessarily want him cut now.
Well, I think there's a reason they brought Dexter McDougal in and have been playing him exclusively in the slot at practice.
Tony Bradley, correct. The cap issue is a formula. Money, talent versus locker room issue. Yeah, and I don't even think I don't want to even go as far as say he's a locker room issue at all. I mean, he was. There was talks about it before any of this in San Francisco that everybody seems to forget about. The world just seems to put blinders on. Then in San Fran, there was points where he wasn't a leader. There was talks about that. Talk about being not a good locker room guy. There was all these whispers going around back in San Fran, and everybody let it go. He also, the only reason he went to the Super Bowl, to everybody who loves to use that as their excuse, as their backup. Well, look at that defense, too. So, I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that guy anymore. We don't need to say anything more about him. But I do believe LeGarrette Blount is on this football team. You tell the people again, you believe he is.
No, I think he makes it. I do. I don't think there's a reason to cut him. Not at all.
All right. Good. Mike?
I'm in the same boat. I really don't think there's a reason to cut him. But I feel like by 4 o'clock Saturday, he is not going to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
All right. Oh, my God. That's a problem.
It is a problem.
That's on freaking Howie Roseman then. I mean, that's just
unless they make another corresponding move to bring another back in, which, I mean, there's been a lot of whispers about Shady, and apparently Buffalo loves the kid that they have backing Shady up, so maybe
Gillislee?
No, Gillislee's in New England now. I think it's
Gillislee.
Gillislee's in New England. Trust me on this one. I've done 3 fantasy drafts in the last 5 days.
Me too.
and you didn't hear Gillislee's name called, right?
No, I did.
Did you? Yeah, he's in New England. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to get the rumor mill going again, but maybe there is a corresponding move if they don't keep LeGarrette Blount as their starting running back. Who knows?
It's not the way I'm going into my season. That's just not the way I'm going into my season.
And I don't blame you.
I mean, somebody should go to the NovaCare complex and drag Howie Roseman out and fire him on the spot for even bringing the guy in the camp then. To run some stretch plays, some tosses, and see you later. You know what I mean? That's just bad business to me. That's just real bad business. But that being said, let us know if you think LeGarrette Blount's on this football team. Chime in. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, ATD Radio is where you can find us. A little 5 up, 5 down. We'll talk about the 5 players who appear to have played their way up and 5 that are in danger of being cut when the final rosters come out here.
So how do you want to do this? You want me to give you my 5 up, 5 down, and you guys can analyze and provide your commentary?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Give us 5 up, 5 down.
Well, my 5 up.
If you people out there want to give 5 up, 5 down,
Oh, please do. Chime in.
5 it up, 5 it down.
All right. So
5.
my 5 up is the first one is pretty obvious now at this point. It's the long snapper, Rick Lovato. And I don't think we really need to go into any of that. I mean, obviously one of the 5 down
Can you snap the ball
is John
on a
Dorenbos.
spiral?
Yeah.
Good. Got it. All right, good. Next one.
Now, two of them, which are really interesting here, actually, is 2 wide receivers. Both Marcus Johnson and Bryce Treggs are going to be on this team. Marcus Johnson is a guy that they kind of fell in love with as soon as they were able to get him into the complex. And Bryce Treggs, for as much as you kind of love to hate the guy, he's done nothing. He's done nothing this whole preseason except run great routes and catch the ball. And I think it winds up costing Shelton Gibson a job.
Well, he's also never done anything this year or so far.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Keeping 6 then, right?
I have Alshon, Torrey, Nelson, Mac Hollins, Marcus Johnson, and Bryce Treggs.
That's who.
And what you'll see is
that's who I would have.
Yeah, and you'll probably see on game day either Johnson or Treggs will be inactive, and they'll probably kind of roll those two guys through based on whatever packages they're running. Next one is Dylan Gordon, offensive lineman, and looking at the 5 downside, I do believe that costs Chance Warmack a spot on the team. I mean, everybody was saying that, Chance Warmack was going to be reunited with his offensive line coach from Alabama, Dave Stoutland, and Stoutland was going to have this reclamation project and everything like that. And if you watch the preseason games, Chance Warmack has basically been a turnstile. And
yeah, he hasn't played well.
He's not played well at all, and he's another guy similar to LeGarrette Blount, where the only thing that, if you cut him, the only thing it costs you is his signing bonus. He's on a 1-year non-guaranteed deal. I mean, there's no guaranteed deals in the NFL at all. So, there. Next one, not much of a surprise in terms of him being on the team, but rather exactly what he means to the team right now, and that's Michael Kendricks. This guy is having an absolutely amazing training camp, amazing preseason. He's been around the ball constantly. He's got, 2 interception returns for touchdowns in the preseason, 2 forced fumbles, a sack. I mean, the guy has played like he's trying to prove to the entire NFL that he belongs. And not only do I not want to trade him now, whereas
freaking time.
If we look at the early projections that we did 3 months ago, I have him in yellow because I thought he was a possible trade target. Now I have 3 X's next to his name because I want him here, locked, loaded, and here we go.
Yeah, and they even told him. They came out and told him. I always said we don't trade young players and young talented players in this league. We don't do that here. That's not the way we do business. So
should be a good mantra.
Yeah, and then my 5th one is the linebacker Joe Walker. He's run a lot of time with the first team. Looks real solid tackling. He's quick to the ball. Guy that's not going to get beat up. He's got good size for a linebacker. And, I think what we saw was the Steven Daniels experiment where he was signed, released again. It's kind of cleared that space for Joe Walker. Interestingly, though, with Nathan Gary having the hamstring issue, and he was the kid that was a safety at Nebraska that they were converting to linebacker for the Birds. I could very easily see him going on the IR with the hamstring injury, have him in the complex for a year, kind of like what we were talking about with Donnell Pumphrey last week. Let's get some size on him. Let's get him more familiar with the position, and we'll bring him back next year and see what happens.
Yeah, a little red shirtish.
Yeah. And if that's the case, that's going to open up a spot either for Don Cherry or Kame Grier-Hill. And Grier-Hill, with the special teams work last year, probably has the inside track there. Going back to the 5 downside, we talked about Dorenbos, we talked about Shelton Gibson, Chance Warmack. With Bo Allen coming off of the PUP list this week, I think Elijah Qualls is gone.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
I mean, it's if you've read any of the reports or if you went to either of the open practices, I mean, the defensive line coaches just were hammering this guy constantly because he's got such great size and great speed, but there's something that's always hurting, and he's always limping, and he's getting knocked down and getting pushed all over the place. And it's kind of like one of these guys who's got all the tools, but he's kind of a big baby.
Yeah, big guy.
He needs
big
to grow
guy,
up
not
a little
physical
bit.
enough. Yeah.
And I think a year on the practice squad would do wonders for him.
Well, speaking of you being on the line real quick, talking about Means getting a little extension, right? Yeah. What does that do for Vinny Carey?
It's
not that he's better than Vinny Carey. I'm just talking about dollars and cents and, a guy maybe not making the football team.
It goes back to what Mike kind of let off in is, if you're looking to save some money here, save some money there to add up to whatever it is, maybe it is trying to fit Shady under the cap. Maybe it is trying to throw Alshon a mid-season extension type of, again, I'm with you. I don't think he gets cut. I don't think, he's worthy to get cut, but maybe he gets traded.
Well, here's where I'm at with my linemen on the defensive side. I mean, obviously, Fletcher Cox, Jim Jernigan, Destiny Vio, and Bo Allen. And then I have Justin Hamilton making the team. Apparently, the coaching staff is just in love with this kid. And he's another one of these guys that if you could actually stand to watch the third and fourth quarter of the first 3 preseason games.
Tough to do.
It is tough to do. But you just heard Mike Mayock over and over and over again calling this kid's name. So I actually have Justin Hamilton on this team, which means you're probably looking at practice squad for Alex McAllister, the defensive end, and then a bunch of other guys. See you later. At defensive end, obviously you're going Barnett, who I believe is going to be a starter, Graham, Steven Means, and Chris Long, and then Vinny Curry. I still have plugged in as my 5th defensive end. Now, do they decide that they want to save a little money and go with Alex McAllister as that 5th defensive end and say goodbye to Vinny Curry? I don't think they should.
No, I don't think they should.
I actually think that having Derek Barnett in the fold is going to make Vinny Curry a better defensive end.
Well, it should. I mean, but that's Derek Barnett starting over him.
Right.
From day one.
Right, but it's going to keep both of them fresher. And then you're probably also going to see times when Barnett slides inside and they both line up on the field at the same time, or vice versa. You'll see Vinny Curry slide inside.
Oh, yeah, it'll be packages.
Don't get me wrong, though. This is a do-or-die year for Vinny Curry. I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's money. I mean, he's getting paid some money. He's getting paid a lot of money to be a guy, and he's not really ever been consistent, I think is the word for Vinny Curry.
Yeah.
Flashes, but never consistency.
And then back to the 5 down side real quick. Ron Brooks, I actually had him as a 5 down, and he was released today. And then I have Patrick Robinson on that list because I'm looking at, in terms of the defensive backfield, I'm looking at Darby and Mills as the starters. I'm looking at Dexter McDougal as the slot guy. Rasul Douglas is still there. You have Jalen Watkins now who can play safety or corner. And then you have Corey Graham who can play safety or corner. So then you look at the safety spot, you're going McLeod, Jenkins, Corey Graham, and Chris Maragos.
I don't know, man. I think if you take anything off of what you saw the last preseason game, you saw Patrick Robinson starting in the slot. And I think if there's any indication to me, that tells me he's making this football team and he's your starting slot guy.
And
that's just what it looks like. I mean,
it's entirely possible.
It could happen. It could easily happen. Things could change.
It is entirely possible. I mean,
you didn't look bad in the covering the slot.
It's just weird to me that happened where for the first 2 preseason games, you're just kind of watching the game and going, what the hell is this guy doing? 3rd preseason game, he actually shows up and plays well. And then they go out and they trade for a corner who's primarily a slot guy. So I don't quite understand the logic there. So either they've seen enough of Patrick Robinson where that 3rd preseason game didn't do enough for him,
right,
or maybe they're just trying to create some competition. But, I mean, Terrence Brooks was a guy who played very well for this team down the stretch last year. And for them to trade him for another corner, I mean, do you trade him for a corner that you're going to turn around and cut a week later? I mean, maybe Jalen Watkins is the odd man out here. Or maybe it's Corey Graham. But I have a feeling that because Graham and Watkins can both play corner and safety, they're safe.
Well, one of the two might be safe, maybe.
It's a good possibility as well.
One of the two might be safe, and Robinson's on it. Because, I mean, who's going into the slot then? Douglas? I'm not okay with that.
McDougal.
No, Douglas stays on the outside.
No, you'd be looking at Darby and Mills on the outside with McDougal in the slot.
I got no time for that. That's worse than Patrick Robinson. You know what I mean? That's worse than Patrick Robinson in the slot. Taylor Quesnell. Love that MJ jersey. A little Mitchell Ness.
Goat.
It's like, I love the goat. Little goat hanging around. Jonathan Adam. Curry will be here this year, but not next. He says he believes they save about $5 million cutting him. He makes starter money for second-rate production. Spot on. Terrible contract. Listen, it's just Howie Roseman, when we talked about nauseum, bad with the ends. History, maybe hit one, miss one. Hit one, miss one. just Howie's little history here.
Yeah, and you know what you keep seeing for a guy that's supposed to be a numbers guy, he's given out some bad contracts recently.
Yeah,
to where now you're making some of these moves to save a couple bucks. You know, you could talk about the Dornbach. You know, you could whether the Dornbach thing is relevant or not. But if we're really hurting for $1 million cap space, then that's on Howie not doing his job right as the numbers guy.
No, you're right. And what does it tell you about when you take on more than you can handle? You know, you start making mistakes at the things you're really supposed to be good at because you have too much on your plate. You never could handle it all from the jump.
Right.
And now you're trying to handle it all, and then something's going to lack. And, you know, maybe it's giving away some bad contracts, overvaluing guys that are your guys, Howie. That's the thing with Howie. Is the guys he drafts, he wants to reward. And at some point, when does the reward stop? With guys that he falls in love. You hear on telecast back in the day before Chip came here, or right when Chip came here, you talk about Howie Roseman talking about guys in the draft. It was like he's talking about his kids. I was like, man, Jesus, you haven't known him for a month.
Now, see, I want
football. You haven't known him for a month, Howie.
I want to go to the flip side of what Greg was saying for a second because, I mean, obviously I'm not a Howie fan at all, but I am willing to give credit where credit is due, and I think the guy had a great offseason. But I think one of the things that he may have done in the offseason was kind of said, you know what, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to get this coaching staff as many toys as I can possibly get, and when the time comes to get down to 53, then I'll worry about the salary cap. And if I have to cut one or two high-priced guys to get under the cap to put the best possible team on the football field, that's what we'll do. So, I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, what was the one theme of the offseason was he went out and he got Alshon, he got Torrey Smith, he got Chris Long, he got LeGarrette Blount, and everybody was saying, well, what's he going to do about the salary cap?
Hail Howie.
Well, now you know what he's doing about the salary cap. He's figuring it out. So, you know, again, I'm not a huge Howie fan, but I am willing to give the guy credit to, you know, I'll jump now and get what I can get, and I'll worry about the ramifications when I have to get down to 53.
Well, maybe. I mean, I just think he struggled with it over this past, let's say, year or two, and even when Chip was here with some of the deals he gave guys, and we'll see. I mean, listen, is he trying to get it right and fix it and figure it out? Yeah, he is, and he deserves some credit for some of the moves he's made this all season as well.
Sure.
So, but to save a couple bucks here and there, that's going to take away from your football team being better right now. I'm not buying into or agreeing with, because I want to surround my young quarterback with as much talent as I can, and if that's going to cost me a few extra dollars this year, so be it. But I'm the one who brought these guys in anyway to give them a few extra dollars, and now I'm going to take them back away.
Yeah.
Like the guy I line up my backfield as my starter every time Carson Wentz has been back there has been who? LeGarrette Blount. So now I'm going to going back to LeGarrette. Now I'm going to take that guy out of the mix. And what am I doing there?
Well,
to my QB, my young QB, who, when we're talking about game time experience right here.
Let me play a game with you for a second. Let's play a little game of either or.
Yeah.
Would you rather keep LeGarrette Blount or Vinny Curry?
LeGarrette Blount, because I don't need Vinny Curry.
If that was the choice, LeGarrette Blount or Vinny Curry?
Oh, LeGarrette Blount, because I got Derek Barnett. I drafted Derek Barnett for a reason. I got Brandon Graham. I see it.
All right, next one.
Yeah.
LeGarrette Blount or Michael Kendricks?
Oh, I'm keeping Kendricks just because he's younger and I'll take a shot. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though he's never on the field enough for me, the talent's there. You can just get 16 out of him. So I'll go with Kendricks in that one, because I'm not Mr. LeGarrette either.
No, I hear you.
I just think he serves a purpose. That's all.
No, and you're absolutely right. I mean, you're not getting the argument out of me on that.
No, I know.
One more. And this one's going to be a little bit out of left field, but hear me out on this. LeGarrette Blount or Malcolm Jenkins?
Oh, LeGarrette Blount.
You keep LeGarrette Blount over Malcolm
Jenkins?
No.
I'm talking LeGarrette Blount release.
Okay.
Release.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I was going
whoa, easy. I just said I didn't like the guy that much. But he does serve a purpose. But no, the Vinny Curry one's a really realistic one. If we're talking about how realistic are they, it's a realistic one. And having Derek Barnett, having Chris Long, signing Steven Means to an extension,
Alex McAllister waiting in the
yeah,
wings.
I mean the writing's on the wall for Vinny Curry, so I could see that and to keep like out. I just don't see how. This is my philosophy. Not you or you,
right?
But too many people look at pro sports like it's a goddamn video game, and there's no mental part of the game. You know what I mean? Like guys don't really think mentally. Like we talked about Stafford always wanting to look down or look over to Calvin,
right.
Calvin. Well, the same thing when you're talking about your young QB though. And LeGarrette Blount in the backfield in the preseason games when he's back there. If there's any inkling that he wasn't going to be here, well, that last game, you would have saw some more about another guy in that spot, and you didn't see it.
Well, I think you did. I think you saw a lot of Smallwood.
But Smallwood's not,
he's not on the bubble.
Smallwood's not on the bubble. Smallwood's your Thunder Lightning, essentially, so you would. But LeGarrette was in there the first snap is what I'm saying.
Right.
And just that, I think, tells you that it's not part of their plan.
Yeah, no, and you know what? Getting back to the one comment of saying keeping 5 running backs, well, if you got to go down somewhere, and generally teams usually keep 9 to 10 offensive linemen, 9 to 10 defensive linemen,
right,
and a rotation. So if Vinny Curry is that guy, getting back to the either or, maybe you do keep 5 and LeGarrette and take out Vinny Curry type of guy.
Yeah, Mr. Poogs actually makes a real interesting point here. He says Curry has to stay this year. He would be $15 million in dead money due to his new contract. I don't know if it's $15 million. I'd have to check on that. And Mr. Poogs, I do agree with you. There would be a dead money issue with him. Not sure if it's $15 million, but even if it is, you may be able to stretch that out over what would have been the life of his contract.
Bobby Bonilla.
Or you do a buyout with him and you set it up so that you get the Bobby Bonilla effect. I don't know if that's legal in the NFL, but it certainly sounds good.
How do you guys like this one, Ray Luca? We'll get to Ray Lucas in a second. Taz Adams, Joe Hayden might have been a safe grab right now for 2 or 3 years. Okay, yeah. You don't know what Sidney Jones is going to do coming back from it, so safe, sure. Imagine
your backfield next year, defensive backfield next year, if you had Joe Hayden lining up across from Sidney Jones.
Oh.
Well then, time's yours.
Big time, Andy. Sean Spielman, of the 4 players you named, did he get a top tier or close to a top tier player of any position move he made exactly? I don't know what that's in terms of.
Alshon Jeffrey's not a top tier wide receiver? Come on, bro.
I guess that's what he's talking about of the 4 moves he made, I guess. Yeah, I mean, Alshon's a top receiver in this league.
He's a top 10 wide receiver in this league. Come on.
Jonathan Adam chiming in. He had $12 million at the beginning of free agency in terms of Howie Roseman and the Eagles, and has about 13.9 now, and has upgraded running backs, receivers, cornerbacks, and D-line. I'm a believer. And I wrote back to him. He's starting to grow on me.
Yeah.
He's definitely starting to grow on me. Sean Spielman.
We got to see the product on the field.
Oh, yeah. And that's been the whole Howie game. We believed all seasons for a few.
They won the all-season Super Bowl in a couple years.
You know what, though? There's going to be some people who always look at Howie from the pre-chip days and will never, ever, ever give this guy a fair shot. And it's the same situation that the Phillies had with Ruben. Everyone loved Ruben until 2010.
Yeah, they
and then all of a sudden it was, ruin tomorrow. And then all of a sudden Ruben got fired, and now what do you have? Matt Klentak, who just wants to sit on his hands and wait for the kids, which, he's goddamn lucky that Nick Williams and Reese Hoskins have lived up to the hype, because Maikel Franco certainly hasn't.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't live off of a guy's complete past. You can take some of it into consideration, but the one thing when you talk about Howie Roseman is he won a lot of all seasons before.
Yeah.
And this isn't his first time.
Not his first rodeo, right?
No, and I think that matters. That matters, where it's like, okay, we won one again, it's essentially, right? We had a really good all season. We definitely upgraded this football team. But to Greg's point, and I completely agree, does it translate? Does it translate on the football field? Because we've done this rodeo before. You know what I mean? We've rodeo clowned this bitch a couple times. You know what I mean? And we're doing it again. And he's won another off season in a lot of fans' eyes, and I'm okay with that. But that's why we're going to say he wins all seasons. That's why I look at it like I can do 2 things at once. That's why I look at it as you better be a playoff team. Because if you're not, your job should be on the goddamn line.
No, you're absolutely right.
And the loyalty to you needs to go away to a point. So
let me run my 53 by you guys real quick. And
might want to hold on one sec because I want to get, if there's a couple reads I want to get out. Let me see. Let me get them out real quick before we go on so I don't get flooded here.
Okay, no problem.
Ralph Delvecchio, I'll be mad to see Blanco. I hope we don't cut him. Agree, Ralphie. And where was the Ray Luca one? Who wins game one? And we can say this for later. And why? For the Eagles, I believe. Right? So we can go over that later on. So go ahead. Time's yours.
Let's do it right now.
All right.
Because I think the Birds win, and the Birds win by dominating the offensive line. And I put that square on the shoulders of Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson said that they were going to go down to Washington, they were going to kick butt, and they were going to leave a calling card. If they don't, he's got egg all over his face. But I feel like this is the type of team that when somebody steps up and talks, they're going to step up and back them up. And I think there's a real bad taste in their mouth from what happened to them when they went down to Washington last year, that first game that Lane Johnson was suspended, and Vaitai basically let them eat his lunch. Right. I think the Eagles go down there, and not only do they win, but they win soundly.
Oh, I agree. Real quick, you're not here, right? You don't live in the local area. You're from somewhere else. You're a transplant. Stream Smart. Get all the NFL games. My boy Vinny Masson will drop you the link in here. Get in contact with Vinny. Use the HUD promo code, and it's where it's at. I watched the fight. You save 100 right there. I was already in the green.
Yeah.
For all the money I've been saving.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling in the green. So get yourself into the little green. Vinny, drop the link whenever you're watching. Drop the link in there for your Stream Smart and use the HUD promo code. All right, don't forget. Do not forget. Brian Wilson, he said, who's the moron that said Franco's good at defense? Sir, you should drink bleach just for the benefit of society. I don't know who said that. That's why I just asked him.
Oh, no, there was Wilson and I had a little back and forth this afternoon on the book about the Galveston center field prepping for J.P. Crawford to come up, and I mean, and it was good points both ways, and then some guy chimes in and some guy just chimes in on the chain and goes, he's an outstanding third baseman with a rocket arm, and I didn't even acknowledge the comment because I wanted to be, what am I going to say? He's hitting 214.
My boy's wearing one contact watching the game. You know what I mean? You don't know what he's watching. You don't know what he's watching. Yeah. Does a professional third baseman have a good arm?
He should.
Again, dude, these guys, I remember my first time not watching baseball. I mean,
there's
you know what I mean? Like, where do you come up with this
There's
shit?
only a few David Eckstein-like players that make it to the bigs.
Well, Chuck Knobloch.
Yeah.
Right, but here's the thing. When a third baseman doesn't have a rocket arm, they become a first baseman. Ryan Zimmerman, David Wright, I can keep going.
Yeah.
So here's my 53, man, boys. And
I do agree they do win week one.
All right, okay.
I do agree with that.
And some of this is going to be fluid. Obviously, I have Caleb Sturgis as the kicker. I have Donnie Jones as the punter, but again, when we talked about that early on, I think it's 50-50 right now, whether they keep him or they go with the kid out of Ohio State. And the kid's punted pretty well during the preseason. So
yeah, and that's a situation there where, Donnie's been a good punter.
Right.
So it's do you want, you better be confident in the kid. And that's important. That's an important position, and it's something you need to make the right moves in when you talk about being good in special teams and solidifying that.
And that's part of the whole, at least with me, the whole Dorenbos thing. Now, I'm not, not like any of the other.
We got
people.
Cards in here. Cards in here for this son of a bitch.
But
you want to do a card trick?
A week out at, a week at 10
would that have
days,
gotten you an 8?
Yeah, right. Yes.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. I'm going to agree with you. Go ahead. I'm going to agree.
You're going to mess with the special teams this close to the, close. Now, yes, there's another guy there, but now you're talking about you're going to change long snappers, potentially change punters. Now you're starting to mix with some mojo that you can't mess up.
I'll tell you why this whole thing makes sense, though. Because if you remember, Dorenbos got hurt last year and went on IR at the end of the year. Lovato came in and was here the last 3 games of the year last year, so he wasn't new to the system. Dorenbos is 37, 38 years old, coming off of a wrist injury. So we have no idea if his snaps have been as accurate as they were before, if they're coming back with the same velocity, if there's something where they think the wrist could be a factor again. And then, oh, by the way, because he's uncovered on punts, he's still expected to be one of the first men downfield, and 37, 38-year-old legs don't run quite as fast as 24, 25-year-old legs.
Listen, when you get a pick back for a long snapper, you just won.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the last one of the draft. You just won.
Now,
you want something.
Right.
I don't know what you want, a
But we
cookie.
have a GM that can't
A
draft.
brownie. Yeah. Give you
So
more picks.
what do we need picks for?
Every time that son of a bitch loses a pick, he goes and gets another one. No matter if he loses the second, he's going to get a fifth or a sixth or a seventh. He always does. It's like clockwork with Howie, because Howie hates losing picks. He doesn't like them.
No, I hear
so he
you.
always finds a way to gather them back in some fashion.
Right, but now you take this out one step further, and you talk about the Donnie Jones portion of this. Well, the Eagles are one of those teams that uses their punter as a holder. So if Donnie Jones has been working with John Dorenbos for the entire camp, well, that means Cameron Johnston's been working with Rick Lovato, and there's probably a real high comfort level there. Not saying that Donnie Jones can't be comfortable with him because, again, he played with him 3 games last year. But if they're going to flip the long snapper and they have a punter who's just as good as the guy that they had in camp, why not flip them both?
No, I'm okay. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't think
it makes sense.
I think where you're coming from, and I agree, is how is the chemistry?
Right.
Is the guy you're replacing him with good enough? Is he like Mike said? Is it clean at practice? Is it clean in the games? Are you confident enough? Is he getting down the field faster? Are you seeing things that are like, you know what? And we're getting an offer that we can make. We can trade a long snapper for a pick. All right, sign up and go and go ahead from there.
No,
you know what I mean? I'm okay with that.
And that, quite frankly, should have just been the end of the story.
Yeah.
You got a pick for a
For
long
a long
snapper.
snapper. You won.
You won.
No matter what the pick is, okay? And that's a magic trick. What Howie just did is said, you want to do magic, John? Watch this magic trick. I'm going to somehow swing a 38-year-old goddamn long snapper at 37 for a draft pick. Are you kidding me? Whoever's running the front office in New Orleans, you should be fired immediately. Like, as soon as they said, what did you just give up? What the hell was that? A pick?
Like
how old? 27?
Like they couldn't wait.
17?
They couldn't wait for the Eagles to cut one of these guys. They had to go out and trade for one of them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It's the stupidest.
Wow.
It's the stupidest thing
Yeah,
ever.
it's great. And I was like, okay, good guy. But listen, nobody knew the guy before a couple card tricks last year. I mean, he's a good guy. Nobody's taking anything away, but nobody knew him. Like, people around here were like, oh, my God, John.
Oh, because him and his hot ex-wife used to go on Preston and Steve. Whoop-de-doo.
All right, and I get it. He was a good guy, and the whole,
He was. He's a good guy, and he does a lot for charity and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
nobody's questioning that.
you don't think somebody else is going to come in and do that same thing?
Yeah, and it's okay. It's one of them where you can get someone for a long time, you get it, and I think that's fair.
All right, so quarterbacks, they're going to have to keep 3 just because Foles can't stay on the field. So,
Ain't that fun.
I've got Wentz, Foles, and McGloin.
Do we even need to do it? Should we just stop? Should we just skip over it? Because I don't even want to.
I don't even want to talk about it, actually.
I'm scared to, Mike. I'm scared to talk about backups because I feel like that's when you start talking about them, they start coming out a little more than you want to see them.
Then, you know what? We'll just say those are the 3 guys, and we're moving on.
We'll go like this. There's 3 guys. One's Carson Wentz. Okay? That's all you need to goddamn know. If he's down, don't worry about it. Turn it off. Turn it off. Worry about it next year.
Just watch Red Zone.
There's 2 more guys.
Street smart.
There's 2 more guys that wear single digits, and they're over here.
Before you go on, real quick, Kyle Clyde. If the Birds want to win this year, you need 100%. Great pass game only comes when people fear the run game. Unless you have an elite QB, which I believe he's going to get. There's going to be a point where he is one of the elite QBs. Sproul, Smallwood aren't enough. Jonathan Adam Cranford, I actually agree with that. Jonathan Adam Cranford, I don't think it's about being comfortable. New England has to make things happen, or you're gone. Winning games and championships, it's about time Philly does the same. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, completely agree. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
All right, so I do have them keeping 5 running backs. Now, it just becomes an issue of how they swing it. I mean, where do they give up at another position? I mean, I have them keeping Blunt, Clement, Smallwood, Sproles, and Pumphrey. I would love for them to be able to redshirt Pumphrey some way so that it doesn't cost them a roster spot. I feel like they may wind up going short in the secondary if they do keep 5 running backs, but
Stop it. Stop. Hold on. Stop it, Sean. Okay, don't put Brandon Cooks ahead of Alshon Jeffries. Would you stop? Don't do that. Okay, you got some good names on this list, but don't you dare. You're better than that. Sorry, we got to get back to the Alshon. He came firing in.
oh, what's he doing? Naming off wide receivers that are better than Alshon?
Yeah, Giants Nation came in here.
Give me the list. Give me the list.
I love it. He goes, how's Alshon a top tier or a top 10? Because he's on the Eagles, Brown,
Okay.
Beckham,
Okay.
A.J. Green,
Okay.
Julio,
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson,
A product of his quarterback.
Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins, no way.
This one.
No way.
Well, I'll give him to Hopkins because he ain't getting the next one. T.Y. Hilton, knock it off.
Hell
knock it
no.
off.
Get at both.
Another
Get at
product.
both. Get at both.
Another product of his quarterback.
Demarius Thomas was
no longer.
Dez Bryant getting close to not being Dez, but I'll give you Dez.
Wait. Hold on. Sean, how are you going to have Dez and Alshon, or you're going to have Dez but not Alshon? They're basically the same player. They're the exact same player. So take your Giants bias and shove it up your ass.
I love it.
I can talk shit with Sean. I played in a fantasy league
He's
with
the
him
best,
a couple
dude.
years
He's the
ago.
best.
He's good.
But listen, most of the names are right. There's a point where you hit it where I'm like, well, no, Alshon can go right there. Listen, no agenda here. I think when I can speak for myself and the guys I try to surround myself with that, it's not Eagles biased. He's a legitimate wide receiver in this league. He's a legitimate one in this league. I don't think there's any biased talk there. I think that's real talk and the worldwide leader, real talk, coming down and stamping it. And I understand to be nervous and want to go sit in a corner and put yourself in a timeout chair and hide yourself because we're coming this year. I understand the nerves, even though you got the best defense in the league. I understand the nerves and where you don't want to crown guys. Just watch your ass. That's all. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean,
sorry. I got to clarify with the kid.
And that's fine. I mean, it's a situation where, go back to free agency. I mean, there were teams that were getting ready to offer Alshon 17, 18, 19 million a year. And he wanted to come to Philadelphia because he wanted to play with Carson Wentz. You don't get 17, 18, 19 million a year if you're not a top 10 wide receiver in this league. I mean, Dez and Alshon are basically the same guy. I'm sorry. Dez is on the way down, and Alshon's just kind of at that level.
Listen, 10, 12, 13, interchange some names. Vinnie Maxon's saying Amari Cooper's better, fine. Hey, you want to interchange some names? I'll go with Amari Cooper.
Wait, hold on. Amari Cooper wasn't even the best wide receiver on his team last year. Michael Crabtree beat him catches, yards, and touchdowns.
Crabtree did have a good year.
And I love Amari Cooper.
I do too.
But he wasn't the best wide receiver on his team last year.
But I'll give you names. But listen, the end-all, be-all of this conversation is not where is he a top 10 or wherever he stands. He's a legit number one wide receiver in the National Football League. There's no bias. That's just as real as you can get. You want to do a rankings game? We can call. You guys can come on in. Doors always open. We can sit down and we can do some names out. Doors always open.
We'll even break bread with you.
There's extra headsets.
We'll break bread with you.
Maybe not now. I might not break bread with you because we're getting into the
nitty-gritty.
the meat and potatoes of the season here. We're getting here. We're getting to the start.
Got a couple weeks left.
Yeah. We're still friends right now.
Week 3, September 24th.
No, but Vinny's right. I mean, if you want to go Amari Cooper, that's fine. There's names that I completely can say, okay, maybe he's better. And the only thing that hurt Alshon was the suspension and the team going south and some injuries.
And people want to throw Doug Baldwin into this discussion. He's another one that's a product of his quarterback.
Oh, listen, if you want to – listen, Baldwin's a stud. But I don't know – numbers-wise, he's better. Strictly numbers, he's better, Baldwin. And does he fit what they do there? Yeah. But I also think if you took him and you put him on other teams where you put him in the slot, put him in situations, he'd be a problem.
Well, let me ask you the question then.
Because I don't like his quarterback that much.
Better quarterback, Russell Wilson or Jay Cutler? Because Alshon's got the majority of his career stats with Cutler at quarterback.
Well, if you want to ask me,
I think that's apples to oranges because they're just two different styles.
Yeah, like I like things that Wilson can do, and I hate things he does. I like things that Cutler can do, and then I hate things he does. So, Wilson has the ring, so it's like, okay, you give it to Russell, obviously, and a big part of that's the defense.
I mean,
and
if I'm
stuff.
starting a team, you're right. I'm
Russell
probably
Wilson.
going Russell.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think
One game?
there is great quarterback qualities out of Jay Cutler.
There is.
He can make every throw. Whether he's throwing to the right team or not
is
a different issue.
Yeah, he can
Okay,
make it.
so and fair point, but what I will point to is you look at Alshon's numbers last year outside of the suspension, and he had Matt Barkley throwing him the football.
Well,
And I'm just going to leave that right there.
fair's fair. Listen, he's going to have a big year, and then just put it on notice. That's all I'm telling people. Just like I told the people Nelson Aguilar is going to have a monster year, too, and nobody wants to listen. He's going to have a big year in the slot. There's a reason guys have big years in the slot. If you're quick enough and you can run precise routes and you're a good route runner, you're going to make a living. You can eat up in the slot. I mean, it's buffet style. I mean, you're at Caesars, Vegas, and you're buffet. $70 worth of buffet food.
Get those crab
You're
legs.
getting steak and lobster.
He's chewing. That's great. But, I mean, I think he has a big year, too. You know, I think these guys are set up to have really good years at the wide receiver position because 11's the real deal. And you're going to see more and more of it. You're going to see times where he's young and some inexperience at times. But I think where we talked about before, him playing a lot last year and him starting from jump is really going to, you know, rev up that learning curve. And he won't hit some of them things this year. And he'll look like more of a vet and a little more experienced and polished.
I'm willing to go out on a limb here.
Limb away.
And I'll take this back to 2003, 2004. You look at the way Donovan McNabb played when he was throwing to Charles Johnson.
Ugh.
And
I just threw up a little.
then you look at the way Donovan McNabb progressed as soon as he got Terrell Owens. You could very easily see the same type of jump in Carson Wentz this year. Last year, Carson Wentz is throwing to Paul Turner, Dorial Green Beckham. This year he's throwing.
Studs.
Yeah, this year he's throwing to Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. Yeah, come on. For the people that don't want to say that Carson Wentz is going to take a huge jump this year, they're just straight up biased against the Birds.
Yeah, Mr. Poogs on the tube chiming in. Couldn't agree more on the wide receiver talk. Don't forget Matt Collins is a stud behind him too. Yeah, we didn't get to Matt Collins. We just went through three.
Yeah.
And just to make a point. But I do believe Nelson has a big year. Sweeps chiming in. You got my attention at the buffet. Well, he said, fuck, I'm fat. And he said, don't talk about my boy John like that. He was on America's Got Talent. Dude's a legend. You guys shut your mouth talking about John. LOL. And then he said, tell Mike, nice friend. Some guy commented today, Franco is a really good defender. Yeah, he was texting me about that. Bye,
Yeah.
Felicia. And he said, Sweeps here. What up, boys? So I just want to get all
There we
Sweeps
go.
out before I go back over to the book.
All good.
But
So-
so that's four really good wide receivers. So go ahead.
And then, all right, so obviously, I mean, we're looking at wide receivers. Alshon, Torrey, Aguilar, Hollins, Marcus Johnson, Bryce Treggs. Treggs, we'll see. I think he deserves it. He's played real well during the preseason, but we'll see. Offensive line, other than Chance Warmack, which we've already talked about, I don't think there's many surprises. Your tackles are Johnson and Peters. You have one backup in Halapulivati Vaitai. The reason that you have one is because you're going to keep Josh Andrews, who can swing guard or tackle. Your guards, Brandon Brooks and Isaac Samalo. Dylan Gordon is the backup there, which, again, we talk about means Chance Warmack is on the outside looking in. Coaching staff loves Dylan Gordon, and he shows up every week. Your center, obviously, Jason Kelsey. I'm not a Kelsey fan. You guys know this, but he hasn't done anything during this preseason to lose the job. No one's taken it from him.
Oh, yeah, it was his job to lose.
It's his job to lose. So then, obviously, you've got Wisniewski backing him up, who is a center/guard. I already mentioned Josh Andrews. So, tight ends, obviously, you're going Ertz, Burton, Selleck. I think that's kind of a given. I do have a feeling this may be Selleck's last year, but, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Defensive side of the ball, Fletcher Cox, Tim Jernigan, Destiny Vio, Bo Allen, Justin Hamilton. We've already talked about that. Barnett, Graham, Stephen Means just signed the extension. Vinny Curry, Chris Long. Your linebackers, Jordan Hicks, Nigel Bradham, Michael Kendricks, Joe Walker, Nathan Gary, Najee Good. I think Gary comes out of there, and you're looking at Kamaguriye Hill for the special teams work. I would love to see Gary healthy enough to play because I think he looked real good in the preseason. I think the hamstring's going to be an issue, though, and again, if they can redshirt him, why not? Corners, McDougal, Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills, Rasul Douglas. Safeties, McLeod, Graham, Jenkins, Maragos. Jalen Watkins as that swing guy, and then Sidney Jones on pup.
Works for me.
So we'll track it next week and see how close we are to the final product. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say 47 out of 53, maybe 48. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you're closer to 49 out of 53 than the other way. I would say, it's hard. I think you're right in there. Maybe a few names. There's only a couple that you could really maybe Chance Womack makes it, so a name like
go in a
that.
different direction.
Yeah, something small like that. Like when you're talking corners earlier, maybe a guy like I don't know, maybe a guy like McDougal doesn't make it,
right.
or maybe Corey Graham or Jalen Watkins isn't on the football team.
Right.
So maybe a direction there, but that's only two, and then one more. So I would say right around 49, 50.
The one area where I think, and I hate to do this because I really don't want anybody to open up the Kaepernick talk again, but I could actually see a scenario where Foles goes on IR, McGloin gets cut, Dane Evans goes to the practice squad, and they sign another backup quarterback.
Well, they very well could.
Good.
They go that direction as well.
The interesting, though, overall theme that I see with the offensive line and especially the back, the cornerbacks and the defensive backs is there's a lot of versatility.
Oh
there.
yeah.
You look at a guy like Wisniewski can play all three spots. Salamalo can play all three spots.
Right.
Even Gordon can kick to the outside if he need to. And then you already talked about the back end with all the cornerback safeties and Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're right. With Kelsey, I could see a scenario where Kelsey's cut and Wisniewski jumps in just to save a spot somewhere else as opposed to maybe losing a Warmack.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I could see that too.
It's funny, though. Like, you bring up Warmack, and as much as
so much better.
As much of a powerhouse as Alabama is, their offensive linemen very rarely pan out.
Isn't that amazing?
It's crazy.
And their road graders are big boys, too.
They're big, absolute monsters. Because Detroit just cut Conjo, or Cyrus Kwanjo.
Right.
And I'm like, he was an absolute beast at Alabama. So was Warmack.
Well, here's the difference, though. And it's just in the Alabama offense. Alabama offense, they're going to run the ball 70% of the time. NFL, they're going to throw it 70% of the time. So if you can't pass block, you're not going to have a career.
Yeah, no, that's true, too.
It's amazing that system just can't produce longevity at the offensive lineman.
You're absolutely right.
They can produce
it's
safeties.
Crazy.
They can produce safeties.
Right.
Corners.
Linebackers, right? There's some things they do produce well, and there's things that they don't. It's really funny how certain schools work like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And certain are different. It's so funny.
Even the running backs.
They don't really.
No. Mark Ingram is like the most.
And Bo Scarabarrow looks like the next coming.
They all do.
Jesus Christ on a football field. The guy's gigantic.
He's a walking DNA.
He's Bo Jackson big. You know what I mean?
He is.
He's just a moose.
It's ridiculous. It is.
Sean Spielman talking about Alshon. Is he a number one on the Eagles? Absolutely, no brainer. And Torrey Smith is not going to do much. Brick hands. Nelson will produce more than Torrey.
So if he says he's number one on the Eagles, name me a team that he's not a number one on that doesn't have. That isn't a top 10, top 15 guy.
Well,
so he doesn't.
Actually, I'll redirect to Sean because he's a Giants fan. They have Odell. If they had Alshon would be the number 2 over Brandon Marshall and Sterling Shepard.
Well, that's not even a question. Yeah. He might come in trying to tell me something otherwise, but he'd be lying to himself.
Exactly.
He'd be lying to himself.
You throw him in Kansas City, number 1 in Kansas City.
Listen, you can't.
Throw him in L.A. with either L.A. team.
You can sit on your boat Miami with Odell, okay, and you guys can live it up. But at the end of the day, we know you got a specimen up there and it's something different, okay, than the rest of the world. So sit on your high horse and don't put down the rest of our number ones, okay, around the National Football League. We know you got a top 3 up there, maybe top 4, depending on how you want to slice some names. We know it. I'll put him later on because he's not as good as Antonio Brown to me or as consistent, in my opinion, okay? Just me. He ain't A.J. Green when A.J. Green's on the football field. I'll take A.J.
No,
There's some more guys. First off, the best wide receiver in all football is Julio Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not even a debate. That's not even up for debate. So you could essentially put Odell 4.
Well, that's where I put him. I put him 4. I go Julio, AB.
It's going to get him.
And it is what it is. I mean, it's Julio, AB, A.J. Green, when he can stay healthy, and Odell.
Yeah, and you could make a case that A.J.'s better than Antonio when he's on the field consistently, that he can do more. You could. No, they're interchangeable. I'm fine with Antonio Brown, too, because he does everything.
I think Antonio Brown's the top guy.
No, he's not, because he's not. Julio Jones is a problem. Julio Jones is a problem.
Well, no, I'm saying, let's be real. Those 4 you can interchange.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can.
But tell me, you're starting from scratch. You can't do that. You're starting from scratch a football team, and you're going to put Antonio Brown. Not that it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean,
but you're really going to go with the smaller type of wideout over a Moose Knuck who's running a 40 faster than him anyway. Who's 40 times faster and catches more?
Yeah.
Well,
doesn't know how to drop a football.
And this week, everybody's all off in fantasy football world. I mean, you look at every fantasy football draft known to mankind. I guarantee you the first 4 wide receivers taken were Julio and AB.
Yep.
Either way.
Wherever you want.
And then the next 2 were Odell and AJ. Either way.
Yeah. And there's probably some people in certain drafts that took guys higher. Might took Odell over Julio because they're in love with something.
Yeah.
They like the hair. It's cute. It's adorable. Whatever the case may be. And Vinny Massin's saying Julio has the beast factor. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
he does have the size. He does have the pure size. Yeah, absolutely.
He's faster than all of them, probably. I would love to see him and Odell match up in a race because I'll take Julio, I think.
Mr. Poogs addressing Greg's point, cutting Kelsey gives him $5 million back against the cap.
Yeah, for what though this year though?
I'm
just throwing a scenario out there.
I know, but
I'm not saying he's...
No, I mean, I don't know what they would do with it this year. But
I don't know. I got no time because you want to talk about long snapper going in chemistry. Take your center out.
Forget about it.
A week before the season.
A week before the season. I'm not as comfortable going down to Washington and rolling. You know what I mean? I'm like,
you might be down to 10 wins back from 12.
Yeah, not a team that's in a shotgun half the time.
No, I mean we're sitting here joking about it, but I mean you couldn't be any more right. I mean, if they were going to get rid of Kelsey, it needed to be before training camp started.
Sure. Yeah. Now, you want to take the guy behind him out, like to your point, like maybe he doesn't make the team, right? Okay, that's a different story. You take the guy he's got to get it from, I don't know. I don't got time with that a week before the season. So now it's semantics, Sean, when I say things. Nothing I say matters.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
You're talking about
guy hosts
10.
a radio show, and he said, nothing I say matters.
A lot of air quotes, too. You said he's a top 10. I don't know if did I say top 10?
I said top 10.
All right. Well, okay.
And I still believe it.
Semantics. You're talking about a couple spots that you could put him at that are right there. It's not that he's far off. All right? And he said not top 10. Can be number one of many teams. Rested my case. All right. Well,
whatever.
You don't have Julio, so stop resting. Stop resting your case. Stop resting your case there. All right. We want to talk about Reese? Reese Hoskins.
Yeah.
Got it right the second time.
So Reese, as of the end of the second game of the doubleheader today, he's hitting .305, 11 homers, 25 RBIs, 12-game hitting streak. Hasn't homered since Sunday.
Send him down.
And everybody's up in arms. He had 11 home runs in his first 18 big league games, fastest to 11 by far. Before him, nobody ever reached 11 in fewer than 23 games. If he hits number 12 tomorrow in game 26, he's still the fastest to 12. If it goes to 27, he ties. The strikeout to walk ratio is almost 1-to-1. The guy just doesn't strike out. And the interesting stat I saw on him yesterday is he sees 5.1 pitches per at bat.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good ratio.
If you're in the major leagues and you're seeing more than 4.5 pitches per at bat, 4.5 pitches per at bat is a ridiculous number. He's seeing 5.1 pitches per at bat.
That's good. That was a doable.
So he's
that's where
working,
a doable was.
Yeah, I mean, he's working deep counts. He's seeing a lot of pitches. Now, granted, I mean, first game today, he had some trouble with R.A. Dickey because he openly admitted he'd never seen a knuckleball in his life.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's
they
fair.
They don't come around all the time.
It's completely fair. But the thing that I think is differentiating this guy from, and people want to make the comparison, Don Brown. Don Brown came up, and he had all these home runs, and he made an all-star team, and now he's not in the majors.
Okay.
Well, Don Brown did that in April, May, June, and made an all-star team. Rhys Hoskins was the International League Rookie of the Year and MVP, and he hasn't skipped a beat since he came up to the majors.
Yeah.
He's doing it in August when he's already played almost a full season and should be exhausted. He's still seeing 5.1 pitches per at bat. He's still batting over 300. The strikeout to walk ratio for a guy with his kind of power is incredible. I mean, he should be walking once for every 4 or 5 strikeouts. He's walking once for every 1.5 strikeouts. Now, will that continue as he goes through the league a second time, a third time? No. I mean, teams are going to learn how to pitch him. It's a given.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be adjustments both ways.
But there's nothing that I've seen from this kid, whether it was at Reading last year, Lehigh Valley this year, or in Philadelphia since he's come up, that tells me that this is not, or that he doesn't have the potential to be the Phillies' first baseman for the next 10 years.
He should be.
Yeah,
unless they keep having blind loyalty to Tommy Joe to us.
No,
So-
I mean, I think that's over. But I think while the strikeout to walk ratio will go up a little bit, you do yourself a favor by seeing a lot of pitches, and it gives you the chance to keep that somewhat close. Because Jason Worth was the same way. He still is. They see, and you said, a double.
Yeah.
When he's going well, he's
He
seeing
sees a lot of pitches. And even if he's not seeing him, he's fouling it off.
Right.
So he's getting a lot of pitches.
And you're giving yourself a chance to find that barrel one time.
One more time. One more
time.
Hopefully to get the pitch maybe you missed earlier on.
Yep.
That's that one pitch you can hit. Maybe you get yourself 2, and you square something up. But what I've seen is, and what I've really liked about Hoskins is the same swing. It's the same approach. Nothing changes. It's not the head flying out on a home run swing. Everything's down, compact. His core's solid. Everything about him I really, really like. I don't think it's another Don Brown. And that's more than wishful thinking. I just don't believe he's another Don Brown. I think he's the real deal. I'm not crowning him as the next coming of Mike freaking Trout or any of them guys, but I think he's gonna be a really, really, really good first baseman for, like Mike said, hopefully at least 8-9 years.
Well,
10 might be a stretch.
And it's interesting because I was looking at an article by The Ringer yesterday, and what they were asking was, right now, what makes you think that Darren Ruff and Matt Rosati are two guys that completely set it on fire at Reading? Rosati wound up parlaying that into a trade. You've never heard Rosati's name at the major league level. Darren Ruff did it at Reading. He did it again at AAA, and now he's playing in Korea. And it's what makes Rhys Hoskins different from Darren Ruff and Matt Rosati? And to me, the answer is simple. It's the plate discipline.
Yeah.
It's the strikeout to walk ratio, and it's the fact that Darren Ruff and Matt Rosati were guys that hit a ton of home runs, but they batted 260, 265.
Yeah, Darren Ruff stunk.
I mean, you look at the numbers for Hoskins.
The great white hype.
Yeah,
Darren
I mean,
Ruff.
you look at the numbers for Hoskins. Hoskins is a guy who's going to hit the home runs, but he's also going to bat 285 to 290.
That's all he needs to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that we need him to be, this stretch isn't going to continue. So
Right.
we don't need him on that stretch. He just needs to be a really good first baseman and hit 30, 35, maybe 40 home runs a year and hit you 280 and drive you in 90 to 100.
And no one's saying he's the next coming of Albert Pujols. He's not going to bat 325 with 45 homers. But is he going to be a damn good first baseman and be able to hit in the middle of this order for years? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And does this run translate to you instead of, per se, going out and signing an Eric Hosmer type of guy or, a Brandon Belt type of guy because you're not sold, but this stretch kind of sells that.
Yeah.
Now you go out, and if you're going to spend money on a guy, he's not at first base because, to your point, that's locked up.
Yeah, and maybe now it opens up Tommy Joseph being moved in a package with maybe a Franco and, maybe getting yourself, a third, fourth starter or just getting something back that you can bring a vet back, maybe something like that, or just put more into your system, whatever you want to do. But it gives you more options now, and so I'm excited about the kid. I really do like him. I think when I look at him, it's smooth, it's clean, compact, and I think it's the same thing. And when you see guys who do the same thing over and over, that translates to some of the best who consistently do it over and over, and that's what I love about him.
The comparison to Don Brown, there was a reason that the Phillies had to tinker with Don Brown's swing. It worked it worked in the minors, but those guys in the minors can't throw like the guys in the majors. That's why there's the difference.
Yeah.
So that's what forced the Phillies to tinker with Don Brown's swing, which is why I think he went into the tailspin. Because you let him do something that got him all the way there, and then once he got there, now you got to change.
Yeah.
And that's so hard to do. But
that's the thing,
Reese
adjustments
has not had to do that. Seeing the pitches, seeing the amount of pitches he does, it allows for, even if you go into a slump like he started, you're still able to come out very quickly.
Yeah, when you do the same thing over and over again, it's going to be easier to come out of it than guys who don't.
Well, let me go a little Matt Klentak on you here with the analytics too, because this is some crazy stuff right here. And I know that some people don't ever even think about it this way, but he's making contact on 87% of his swings. And on pitches in the strike zone, he's making contact 94% of the time.
Yeah, and what does that tell you? I mean, Kansas City Royals won a World Series putting balls in play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a stat I like. How about this one? Steve Polsinello, my boy. Next, Ryan Howard. And my response was, nobody's the next Howard. Nobody's the piece.
Well, it's
totally different type of player.
Yeah, they're different.
He's not. Yeah,
Ryan Howard's going to hit you 60, but he's going to bat 230.
Right.
Well, not in the stretch. Not in his prime.
No, not in his prime.
Well, he's 250.
Yeah, 250,
you know what I mean?
260.
But, yeah, I mean, I think Reese is 20, 30 points higher, maybe tick down 10, 15 homers.
Definitely a stud, though.
Oh, there's no question.
I think it's hard to compare because Howard was such a carrier.
Yeah.
Is the right word for using Ryan Howard. We don't know about Hoskins yet.
He's got nothing to carry.
Yeah, and I don't know, and I don't know if he's your future four-hole hitter. You know what I mean? Like, I almost like him better in my 3. All things being equal down the road. Like, I like him in a 3. But I even like Williams in a 3. So
Yelich, Hoskins, Stanton.
Oh yeah, that too. That works. Should have made that move 2 months ago when we had the opportunity.
But honestly, it's interesting that you say that though, because everything that I've seen over the last probably 6 to 7 weeks with this team, all their free agent money this offseason for me is going to pitching. And I'm looking to move a lot to Florida, to Miami, to bring back Christian Yelich and Giancarlo Stanton. And I'll lay it out for you right now. I'll give you Tommy Joseph. I'll give you Maikel Franco. I will give you Dylan Cousins. I will give you Roman Quinn. I'll give you Franklin Kilome. I'll give you Mickey Moniak. And if you really, really twist my arm, I'll give you Nick Pivetta. I'll give you 7 for 2. And we'll take Stanton's contract.
Where do I sign?
Exactly.
I'm okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I am more than happy for the Phillies to go into next year in terms of the 8 position players with guys that are already in their system unless they can get their hands on Stanton and Yelich. Where I want them to just start pulling from the outside is the pitching staff.
And I think it's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because these young guys, they can't carry a year yet.
Right. And I mean, and we've talked at length about the potential of your Pavettas, your Thompsons, your Eflins, your Liveleys, but it's real clear right now that they need more work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to give up on any of the 4 of them, but they need more work.
Yeah,
and Velasquez needs to be the closer next year.
Yeah, we've agreed on that.
We've
for a long
beaten the hell
time.
out of that one.
And we've actually gone away from it. We've been nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We haven't been abusive about it anymore
No.
like we were. I mean, we were aggressive.
Yeah.
Aggressive parenting. Now we let it go for a little bit. Now we're back.
Now you just go make your own mistakes, and we'll just sit here and laugh at you.
And laugh at you again. But I completely agree. They have to go outside this organization and find themselves a veteran starter and not
Two.
Okay,
For me, 2.
2's fine. Or listen, Noah's fine to come into next year as year 1. I'm okay with that because there's not the guys on the market next year that are your ones and you're going to pay a ton of money to. So you're looking almost at something better than Hellickson. That's what you're looking for.
Well, I'll give you two names right out of the gate. One of them is pie in the sky. The other one, to me, is very realistic. And you get Jake Arrieta and Marco Estrada. Now, I don't know if you get Arrieta away from the Cubs. If you do, it's going to cost you a lot.
I'm not paying him.
And that's fair. That's completely fair. But Marco Estrada, another name, Alex Cobb, third name, Danny Duffy, who maybe not. Maybe not, because he misses out on his 2 offers for $6.
Yeah, I like his
I'll
idea.
drive,
I like
dude.
his style.
I'll drive.
Yeah, I'll drive him.
I'll drive. I'll be your Uber.
Hashtag Wilson takes cash.
I have no problem with any of them names.
Yeah.
They're good, solid names. I mean, I would even consider if I'm Matt Clintack, you use your farm system now. I mean, use what your farm system has gotten you to, and use it to your advantage now. Be able to
move some guys,
dangle some things. Get creative.
Well,
Go find yourself a legit 2. Or a 1. It doesn't matter. I mean, go find yourself a 1, a young
that's where
1.
I thought they could have gotten creative with like a Sonny Gray at the deadline.
Right.
A guy like that where, we need that type of guy.
Well, who do the Tampa Bay Rays still have?
Chris Archer.
Yep.
There you go.
Chris Archer, Alex Cobb, Blake Snell. They got arms.
We're going
It's
to
coming
Florida.
to the point.
We're going to Florida, right?
Yeah.
It's coming to the point. We're already down there.
We're already down there.
We're on our way. We're going to stop off at Tampa real quick. We got to do something. Gee, we'll be down in Miami in a minute. Stopping at Tampa, working our way down.
Actually, I'd prefer to
75.
I'd prefer to go to Florida first, get the guys, and we'll pick up the pitching on the way back because I'm not missing out on those 2.
Yeah, go to Miami first. Yeah, you can go to Miami first and work our way up 75.
We'll hit Tampa on the
If
way
you
back.
make
Little Tommy Trail, maybe that Tommy Trail all the way up below 41.
If you make it out of South Beach.
F, big F. But no, I mean, so there's ways he can be creative and make moves with some of the kids he has in the farm system and go get yourself some more starters that way, or at least one more. Because I think Noel has the makings. I know people say it. My father says it. I hear people say it all the time. He's not a 1. Well, why not? Why is he not a 1? I mean, his stretch at that 10 games was all 1 written all over it. And you expect him that he's a worker. He's only going to get better.
Well, is he not a 1 because he doesn't throw 98? Because Greg Maddux didn't throw 98.
Yeah, if Velasquez throws 98, she sure as hell ain't a 1.
Hell no.
So we see how that works.
I mean, to me right now, there's only 2 arms in the entire system that are untouchable, and it's Eshelman and Sixto Sanchez. Because if Sixto's throwing 106, 105, 103, whatever they clocked him at last week, I'm going to give him all the time he needs to develop. I don't care if it takes 5 years.
Is his command just not there?
Yeah, that's what it is. Is that they clocked him as high as 106, but he's walking 4 or 5 guys to start.
Yeah,
Can you imagine getting hit by 106?
No, I can't.
Can you imagine him picking it up? You just threw it again?
Yeah, don't throw that again, please.
Yeah, did you throw 3 pitches to me that quickly? I didn't even see any of them. Shit. Like that quick, too.
Wait, can we do that in slow-mo? Can you throw 95?
Yeah. Can we
You got 106 coming in. Check swing. That ball is out of here.
Yeah, right, really. You bought one. It's going over shortstop.
And here's my 92-mile-an-hour changeup.
Yeah, really.
It's crazy. But, if his command's not there, so you got to wait on him. So you do need to consider going outside the organization and solidifying your staff a little bit going into next year. But definitely, we said about this year we hoped for it. I would assume next year definitely going to be a lot more excitement going into the Philly seasons with Hoskins up, with the likes of Nick Williams up, Herrera, back in your lineup. I'm just throwing out names of guys that you assume are going to be here next year. Crawford, Hernandez, you would think still here. Yeah. Galvis somewhere.
Yeah.
And Hoskins, and now you're talking about Alfaro and Knapp. So excitement that the kids are here, and let it roll. So if that deal doesn't get done with Stanton and Yelich, okay. I mean, would I like to get the deal done? Sure. But if it doesn't happen, I'm excited because you want to tell me I have to keep Nick Williams? Okay, I'm not mad at you. All right, I'll keep Nick.
Nick Williams isn't going anywhere.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like for Stanton, he is.
Yeah.
For Stanton, he sure as hell is. You ain't getting Stanton unless Williams is in that deal. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe you can get away with Herrera, but one of them two is in that deal.
No, it's either going to have to be Williams or Herrera and Dylan Cousins because they're going to want the power bat in return.
Yeah, they're going to.
They're going to need major league ready stuff.
Ready. So you might have to give up both, which you would do. You would do.
No question.
You would do it.
You put out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You put out Terra in center field, and you give up both of them.
But I'm crazy
No,
talk.
Yelich plays center.
Play devil's advocate with you.
Oh, all right.
I almost don't. Just because I like Nick Williams that much.
He has actually really shown me that, he can go in, make adjustments, go into a slump. He's still right around 300.
Yeah, hasn't stopped hitting.
And he's still hitting the cover off the
The
ball.
only reason we stopped talking about him is because of Hoskins.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the only reason.
Yeah.
Shifted, and I don't know how Alfaro's batting.
Oh, Alfaro's he's reached base in every game that he's played.
Okay, because it's been tough. Even with the kids up, my golden goose still isn't here yet. So I'm still a little upset.
He's coming.
So last week I've taken a little stretch.
Well, here's
I
the
follow what's going on, but I've taken a little step back.
here's the thing. Lehigh Valley season ends Monday.
Protesting.
He'll be here Tuesday.
I got
Guaranteed.
protesting. for
Guaranteed.
Crawford. Standing in front of MLB offices protesting for JP.
He hit number 14 last night too.
Did he? And that's off a terrible start.
Yeah.
I mean, a really bad start. I mean,
Yeah.
groins are real, huh? You know what I mean? Groins are real.
For a
And
middle
I'm
infielder.
real excited to see them two play next to each other. I'm telling you, I'm excited for that. I'm so excited for that I'll go pick up Franco, drive him wherever the hell you want me to drive him. I'm that excited to see them two play on the same side of the diamond. I think that could be something really special because am I Mr. Freddie Galvis? No. Have I changed my stance on he should start over J.B. Crawford? Hell no. But what I will say is the kid showed me a couple things. But energy and effort's always there. Two things you ask for even at a young age, give me energy and effort, right? Always wants to play 162 like we were talking about earlier, okay? And the fact that he wants to play 162, never wants to leave the game. Will do anything for his team as a leader. I'll keep it around, okay? My argument with Wilson is who can lead a 29-win team we were talking back then? Nobody's a leader. Okay, but now, if you're still bringing the kid up, this move wasn't in the cards going back 2 months ago.
Right.
Okay? The move of them two playing third and
You
short.
figured it had to be one
That
or the
wasn't
other.
in the move. And I know that you talk to guys and Kingery's really on their mind and needs to be caught up, and I get it. I get it. And September, fine, right? But I don't see how he starts over Hernandez going into next year. I don't see how that's even possible.
Well, and that's the good
It's
thing.
tough. Yeah.
The good thing though is you don't have to put him on your 40-man next year.
Yeah.
So
How old is he going to be next year, Mike?
it doesn't matter. It's third.
No, I know. I'm just
He
curious
gets-
age.
Oh, I think he's like 25. He gets 3 full years out of college before you have to protect him.
Getting to that Hoskins age where you got to get, you know,
Right,
what I mean?
but
You're
here's
almost forced to.
but here's what'll happen: is he won't come up in September so that they don't have to put him on the 40-man.
Right.
So we'll deal with him not playing this September. Next year, he starts the season at AAA. He's still not on the 40-man, but when he finally forces the issue, he will be added and he will come up, and it will just be a matter of where he plays. Can they get something for Caesar? And if not, can they get something for him?
Yeah, I was thinking more along that line. Can you get something for him?
Yeah.
You know, they're only 2.5 years of age difference.
Right.
I mean, and not saying Kingery's not a pup, but I know who Hernandez is.
Right.
And I know what he can do at the top of the lineup. I know what he can do defensively. I know what he can do on the base pass. I mean, there's things he brings to the table that I really like, you know, but we'll see. You know, I think he's done everything to earn that job. That's his job to lose.
It sure is.
And I don't think he's done anything to lose it.
I see.
Yeah.
My argument against that, though, would be the only thing that Hernandez has over Kingery right now is that he's a switch hitter. And defensively, Kingery's going to give you everything that Hernandez gives you and more. So you have to weigh that out. Now, granted, you got to see Kingery do it at the major league level before you give up Hernandez and just clear the way for him.
Well, that's why I
there's-
say the opposite. It's easier.
But there's nothing that's showing me that Kingery can't handle that.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. But if I'm knocking on the door for Chris Archer or I'm calling Tampa Bay Rays up, right? I mean, why don't I start throwing him in a deal and then we might be talking?
Oh, of
because
course.
if I'm looking at a 2.5 year age difference, two guys, and I know Hernandez is at the big league level, well, let me go get myself that pitcher then.
Right.
Let me go invest in a young arm
Well,
and use my young pieces for a young arm, not an aging guy.
Well,
none of that shit.
if we're talking about this deal and it's Archer, if the Rays want Hernandez, do you have any problem parting with him and having Kingery come in and play that?
No, I have no issue with that at all.
The only thing I think from a race standpoint is
They
they're going to
would've
want
won
the
Kingery.
cheaper. They're going to want the cheaper, more controllable option than the guy that's already
Maybe,
signed.
maybe
Unless you sign.
unless they think that they're going to make a playoff push, in which case they're going to want the experienced major league bat at the top
Maybe,
of their
but they
lineup.
also have to realize if they're giving up Chris Archer, that's probably
That's a
out of
rebuild.
the cards.
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
and knowing Tampa and how they roll, they're going to want the kid they can control.
Yeah, of course.
But either way, I'm okay with if you're talking about going to get Archer. I just think this is the time where you need to start doing this stuff. You know, you have Frank who has MLB experience that some teams might be attracted to. Not me and not any normal baseball guy, but there's always a guy out there that sees all the raw talent and wants to give it a shot. So you have the option with him. Tommy Joseph has shown that he can hit the big league level enough where you can get something back, even if it's a reliever. You know what I mean? Even if it's to strengthen your bullpen up. So you're putting yourself in really great spots now for Matt Quintak to be able to make moves, and we trust the process, and now we're starting to see it. So hopefully it continues to go in the direction we want to. We'll see Crawford by next Tuesday, hopefully.
Yep.
Let's do this. All right, it's going to be a little interesting, but we're going to get off the book. We're just going to go strictly to the tube to finish off the show. We'll take a break here. We'll come back and we'll finish with Money Fight.
You want to take a break, or you just want to go straight through to
No,
11?
I need 5 minutes.
All right.
Give the sponsors some love too. All right, you listen to Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2D Radio. This segment was brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com, as well as the Sports Outlet. Find them on the web, SportsOutletInc.com, and the new Soap Standard,
Soap Stash
LLC. Find them on the web, SoapStash.com, or right on the book, Soap Stash LLC. If you're here on Facebook with us still, we're heading over to YouTube. We'll be back in a few minutes answering your questions. Everything else, going to talk a little Money Fight, some NFL injuries as well, and talk a little, if we have time, Zeke suspension, where we think it gets reduced to, if at all. Tom,
Mike.
AM at PM. Be right back. Greg, mute that mic for me, Daddy. Give me a little mute over there. We're doing this the old-fashioned way, as they say. Which I don't know what the frig that means.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com. A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape, then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2Dradio.com.
Welcome in to the worldwide leader of what? Real Talk, A2Dradio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to the worldwide leader of Real Talk, A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
Hi, welcome back, Tom.
Mike
AM.
in the PM.
HUDradio.com, live from the BMW of Atlantic City studios. BMW of Atlantic City, rough exit 37 of the Parkway. Find them online, BMWofAtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make him yours, Gibson Mayer LLC. Find him on the web, GibsonMayer.com, or run on Facebook, Gibson Mayer LLC. We're on the book. A lot of people are on the book. We enjoy the book. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwakovic, Greg on the ones and twos, Mr. Lyons on the ones and twos earlier, me a little 1 and 2-ish. So some 1 and 2s went down tonight in the absence of Mr. Pove. Got a little cold.
Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, it was actually so bad that we were so scared that we took tables out.
We rearranged things.
We took the tables.
Hey.
No, we're doing a little spice up to the studios. We got big things coming. The table's just the start of the process. Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust it.
All right. I mean, you're listening to No Agenda Radio, the best in the goddamn business.
For the people, by the people.
For the people, by the for the fan, by the fan. All right. We answer your comments, everything you bring. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. HUD Radio is where you can find us. Speaking of that, our poll question, which you can vote on. Is LeGarrette Blount in danger of being cut by the Philadelphia Eagles? Simple. Yes. No. Brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find him on the web, scanzanosports.com. Is he in danger? Okay, yeah. I mean, going back to it for a second. A little bit of danger. To me, the way I look at it, zero danger. But as, looking at it objectively, sure, a little danger.
He shouldn't be, but he is.
He shouldn't be, but I guess he is. But to me, zero. And I know Mike thinks there's a chance he could, not be on this team when everything gets cut down. And I know me and you think he should be, even though you're okay with him not being, because you're Negadelphia and you're 7-9 and
Yes.
8-8 guy, and you don't want to dream like the rest of us, Greg. The rest of us want to dream. It's about dreaming. Me and Mike, we're dreamers. Okay, you're Negadelphia.
That's fine.
I'm gonna get you wrapped right here.
Sometimes I dream that he is me.
I love him. But guess what? I mean, he's doing it more objectively than I am, and we're going to get into that next week, obviously, or it's a long night, dude.
Yeah, actually, next week we'll have
predictions. I haven't been able to talk right, and that's a freaking goddamn problem. Like over the last 2 days.
Next week we'll have Mike Castiglione from Pro Football Focus in studio with us.
We should have said that on the book. Comment in on the book later and let people know.
And
he'll be here.
Yeah, he's looking forward to joining us for some predictions. And was talking to him earlier this week, and I said we'll go through each of the divisions. We'll get our wild card teams, our AFC and NFC champions, and then the eventual Super Bowl champion. I asked him also if he could give us a little bit of who to keep an eye on in terms of rookies this year. So Mike's always got real good stuff. You follow him on Twitter at Castiglione_PFF. One of the guys on PFF that not only looks at it from the fantasy perspective, but also the functional perspective, and his stuff is really good. So I'm looking forward to having him on next week.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that'll be really great. And, we'll put something on our comments in both YouTube and Facebook and let people know who'll be on with us next week.
Absolutely.
And definitely jump in. William Whitsett on the tube. Michael, who you got winning the East? And I said, Will, the NFC East, just to clarify. And I said, I'm taking the Birds. This is Tom. I'm in the middle. Mike, the question was delivered to you, big dog.
I still have the Cowboys winning the division. I think a lot of it depends on how much the suspension does or does not get reduced by. But I mean, I'm sticking with what I've gone with for the last 3 times we've talked about it. I got the Birds 10-6 and a wild card.
Okay, I'm okay. I'm completely okay with that. Yep. I think
it's frustrating as hell, but we're okay with that.
Yeah, I think they win the East though. I think they're better overall than the Dallas Cowboys. They're a better overall football team, top to bottom, in my opinion, the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, Derek Barnett is a savage, and when he gets on the football field and consistently, they say, okay, you know what I mean? Training wheels off, go to work. From what I saw, he can flat out get after the quarterback.
Barnett is going to be the guy that we look at 5 years from now and go, why did we ever complain about him being drafted where he was?
But we're also going to look at Reuben Foster because I've seen some Reuben Foster tape and say, oh. Oh, Daddy, what you could have had.
I mean,
what you could have had.
I saw it this week too. Watching that San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, this is a man.
Oh,
Injuries.
Yeah.
Johnny Lynch got it right. But
a football guy.
football guy got a football thing right. Amazing how that works.
Yeah.
But no, I do love Reuben Foster. But the time I've seen of Derek Barnett, you can see it right off the bat when you talk about good pass rushers, not good ones, and it's the motor.
Yeah.
And it's quickness off the ball. A lot of quickness off the ball. Really great first step from what I see. And I think he's going to be a problem.
Got good bend.
Yeah,
You know?
real good bend. Bend, as I can say, gets underneath it.
I was one of the ones very critical of pick, and it was never on Derek Foster or
Right.
I wish you could combine them. That'd
yeah,
be great.
right, Derek
Yeah.
Foster, right?
Sure.
It was never on Barnett itself. It was just, the whole who was there.
Yes.
It
was never. We don't like Derek Barnett, Greg. We completely agreed
Yeah.
on this whole situation leading up to it. We know who we wanted. We targeted Reuben Foster. He was the guy. It had no issue with Derek Barnett at the end of the day, the player, but we knew who we needed to take there, and he went a different direction. And now you get more to see at Derek Barnett because a little bit I saw him play Tennessee. It was always like, wait, who's that? Who's number 9? I think whatever number. Who's he? He's all over the football field. He looks like an issue.
In my Tennessee,
but you don't translate it all like he's going to be an Eagle. You just look at him.
And my Tennessee guys, they tell me I'm so wrong on him. So we'll see.
Well, guess what? It's not being wrong on him. Are we end up going to be right on Reuben Foster? I mean, the guys who really wanted Foster, who were Foster hungry. But listen, he's the guy. From what we saw, I really like it.
Well, see, you guys were Foster hungry. I was Dalvin Cook hungry.
You were Dalvin Cook.
So
hungry.
I'm real anxious to see what he does. And I put my money where my mouth is. I've had 3 fantasy drafts so far, and I've drafted Dalvin Cook in 2 of the 3.
Did you have to reach for him because you wanted him so bad?
No.
He fell to where you wanted him?
I know we're all going to do a fantasy draft this coming weekend for A2D, but I will just tell you in the 3 that I've done so far, I've gone top line wide receiver in the first round, and I've come back and gone running back in rounds 2 and 3 in both drafts. I'm not going to tell you who I targeted, but I will tell you that I have drafted Cook round 3 twice. So I put my money where my mouth is on that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took him in one of my keepers when it's a year's experience keeper, which is pretty cool.
Right.
And I was able to keep Julio, and I hate to say it, but I had another year, or I had another 2 years available, so I kept Dak just to keep him. Why not? Like,
It's
you know
not a
what I mean?
bad keep.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't need to be my starter because I'll figure that out. And I'll tell you real quick, but my first 2, and now it's year's experience. So I took McCaffrey. That was a 2-pick. Antonio Brown went, and remember, there's tons of guys off the board now.
Right.
Tons of guys. And I said, McCaffrey, okay, I'll play that game. I'll just go get 70 catches. Came back down to me again, and I went Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
And said, all right, I'll go get the 2 best young running backs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people like Kareem Hunt too, but whatever. We got to get off of this talk.
Yeah.
And we got to get to the money fight. And we haven't had a chance to talk about it on air, but your guys' thoughts on the fight, and I think the outcome was what we expected, but did McGregor show you more than you thought he would?
I mean, you're the boxing guy, so I'm gonna. I know. I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'll defer to you first.
Did he show more than we thought he would? Yes. But I think that was also Floyd knowing what had to happen. Case in point, Floyd threw 6 punches in the first round, right? So he knew he had a game plan. Boxing's called the sweet science. There's a science involved. He had a game plan. Let's and he talked about it in the press conference.
Yep.
Let's let McGregor blow his load early. I'm going to get hit with a couple shots. I'm going to realize that I can't get knocked out by him. And a lot of the shots that Conor did land, and he did land some shots, they weren't very effective shots.
Now,
he had the one uppercut,
right,
which probably worried Floyd a little bit. But, did he show more? Yes.
So I want to jump in on this real quick because, to me, the first probably 2 rounds, I mean, we sat here and we talked about it last week where Floyd said he was going to take the fight to Conor McGregor. And that did eventually happen. I give him that. But the first 2 rounds, and like you said, the first round he threw 6 punches. I was watching that first round and literally just thinking to myself, what the hell's wrong with Floyd? Like, did he get in the ring and, did he tweak something? Did he hurt his hand? I mean, like, are the legs not there? Like, what's wrong with him? Because he's not moving, and he's not throwing either. And he did. He took some shots in his first 2 rounds, but maybe the fact that Conor McGregor hitting with the heavier, more well padded boxing gloves as opposed to the UFC gloves. Maybe the punching power just wasn't there, and Floyd was able to take those shots.
Yeah, he's able to take it. I thought he moved better upper body than he did lower half. I thought his upper body moved better than his lower half, honestly, from what I saw.
Well, that's MMA to boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, no,
that's the difference.
Well, no, Floyd.
Oh, okay.
When I look at Floyd, I look at his feet, and his feet didn't move like the Floyd that we know.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we expected a little bit of that. But his upper body movements were special. And what I took out of it is he ended up fighting like he had a ton to lose. Like the Floyd we used to see way back.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it to you. I'm going to throw my hands because my hands are quicker than yours. And went a little old school Floyd, like, I got a lot of money to lose on this. Mm-hmm. If I lose this fight, I'm going to lose a lot of goddamn money. And I felt like, and that shows signs of his greatness on how great he is, that he can just flick the switch and go be the aggressor when he hasn't been the aggressor, and we can't tell you how many goddamn fights.
Yeah.
And I thought that shows you how great of a fighter he really is. But he really fought like he had a ton to lose. I mean, he went after the first, I'll say 2-3 rounds, because McGregor made a move and sort of shifted and threw a left and missed. And it was a haymaker.
And he got stung coming back. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that sequence.
And I thought to myself, oh, man, because this was an upper body, like sort of shift of the body. And I said, if he does this move on anybody else, he's knocking their ass out. I mean, he might knock their ass out. Well, a lot of other boxers, not that man. And that was some signs of just being overmatched, which was a really clean move out of McGregor. But it's not going to land with Floyd and his movements and the way he was able just to do Floyd, but in a different way this time.
Did you score the fight?
I did. I mean, I had it in my head. I had it McGregor in the first 3 rounds.
See, I had McGregor the first 2. I gave 3 to Mayweather. McGregor wound up getting 4, but 5th round, the rest of the fight was just all Mayweather.
I had from 4th on Mayweather,
okay,
and I even had a 10-8 round in there. Like I think that
the
8th or 9th round,
right,
where he got the fight almost ended then. I gave a 10-8 round, even without a knockdown, just because of the overall dominance in there. So if that takes it down, if McGregor wins round 1 and 2, and then Floyd takes it to the end, But I gave McGregor the first 3 rounds because I thought he was the aggressor.
I did too.
He was the ring generalship, and that's all the stuff they look for. Now, if you look at the actual scorecards, the wonderful people who score fights, because they're always right.
Great guys.
Yeah.
They like money.
The one judge had the same thing, had 3 rounds to McGregor, Floyd with the rest, and a 10-8 round in round 9.
Okay.
So maybe that's what the round
was. All
was.
right, maybe it was 9. Okay.
Now, 2 judges only gave McGregor round 1. And then every other round went to Floyd.
Shit, how much money's involved there?
So that makes the scores 82-89, 89-81, because again there was a 10-8 round in there,
yeah.
Versus what probably I had and probably a lot of people had, like an 87-83 fight.
Yeah,
Because it was 6 rounds to 3, which was probably the correct score. And
that's, if we look at it in terms of rounds, I'm right there with you, because like I said, I gave McGregor 1, 2, and 4, and Floyd had the rest of the fight. So, let me ask you guys this. Do you think, given the amount of punishment McGregor's shown through his MMA career that he could take, do you feel like it was a quick stoppage?
No, absolutely not.
Not in the boxing world. Not in the boxing world, because I think we all looked at a guy that was stumbling and looked a little out of it a little bit before that, when his stamina started to really go, and he was way past where anybody thought he was going to go to. And when you saw that, I thought it was time. He was stumbling back, and boxing's more cautious. You don't need the knockout. I mean, I was pissed because I had Floyd in the knockout, so I was pissed. But it's the right call in boxing. UFC is different. You're head hunting. You're looking to actually put a guy in the goddamn hospital. Boxing's trying to there's just enough headshots that go on throughout it. They're trying to take away a little bit of that out of the game.
It was interesting because my initial reaction as soon as the fight ended was I thought the stoppage was a little quick. And I think I even posted on social media that the referee has to know that as an MMA guy, McGregor can take a few more shots than your average boxer. And to me, like I thought it was a little quick. I didn't think that McGregor was as hurt as it may have appeared. And then when I got home and I saw that he went literally 53 seconds without throwing a punch, then I was like, maybe I need to back off of this a little bit.
I was with you for a second, and I even said in that video we posted.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, for the spectacle of the event, you would have liked to see him go down and then have him a chance to come back up, and fight. But, Mike, like you said, 53 seconds, that translated to 10 or 11 unanswered shots from a trained professional boxer.
A goddamn assassin, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a guy who has to register his hands as lethal weapons, okay? Right? I mean,
no, absolutely.
You know how it works?
And to real quick to that point, I think boxers are more trained to take more punishment than an MMA guy because everything is focused up top.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything is focused to a head or to the body as opposed to, MMA where you get the full body and the kicks and all that. So, I think it's actually the opposite. I think there's more of a leniency to a boxer. But if you look at the scorecards, at the end of every round, the referee grabs the scorecards from them and hands them to the official score. So Robert Byrd, being the Hall of Fame ref, now I'm not saying he's always the great ref, but he's looking at these scorecards, knows the magnitude of it, and he sees these 89, 80, 87, 82, 83, 89, 82, and it's like this fight isn't close.
Right.
Yeah.
So when he doesn't answer 10, 11 unanswered shots, all right,
It's
we're
time
going to
go.
save face. I'm not going to let this guy go out on a stretcher.
I completely agree. And the one thing you can say about Conor in this fight is he showed his toughness.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that you expected, taking a lot of shots and hanging in there, like you said, against a trained assassin. But Floyd's greatness just showed again.
Yeah.
And it's it's the best way to go out, man. Made a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, I said McGregor made, 5 times more in a loss than he ever made in a win in UFC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guaranteed 30 will probably be.
Yeah.
Because the pay-per-view buys I heard were $6.5 million plus.
yeah, which is solid.
Well, they had to
And then, of
they had to
course, you had-
reboot. They had to reboot the system.
And then of course you had the
don't
3
stream
million
smart.
illegal buys.
Yeah.
Illegal streams.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah. How you doing?
Well, not illegal. I mean, we're certified here, babe.
Yeah, well, I think the thing that impressed me
We have an insider.
was
Boxing.
the fact that he didn't.
Oop.
He very easily could have gone for the kicks, and I think if he would have gone for a kick at some point in the fight,
It would have been hysterical.
it would have been hysterical. But everybody would have said, "Oh, it's just instinct kicking in," and as long as he doesn't do it again.
Well,
But I thought what I liked about it, and what I liked that he realized after the fight was he admitted after the fight he spent a lot of energy going behind, hitting on the top of the head. And he said some of the MMA instincts kicked in,
Expected.
and he spent a lot of energy trying to stop himself from attacking MMA style. And for me, I was waiting for the kick to come. I was actually very impressed that he didn't throw a kick.
that would have been a very expensive kick because he would have been fined 90% of his purse for doing any type of MMA move. That was in the rule. That was in the contract. So that would have been a very expensive kick or shoot because he did actually try to shoot real quick. Instinctively he went to shoot and he's like, all right, let me just grapple him first.
Right.
But that would have been a very expensive kick or elbow.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. And like you said earlier, Floyd was guaranteed $100 million before the fight, and Conor was guaranteed 30 before the fight, before anything even happened.
Before pay-per-view buys, which
Yeah,
I
and
believe
I-
they split right down the middle.
Yeah, and I believe how much did Floyd end up walking away with total after the fight? Was it 300?
Probably close to 3.
Very close to $300 million, which put him over as a billionaire athlete in terms
Yeah.
of how much he's made as an athlete, which is crazy.
Although
And-
most of that's gone already.
yeah, and guess what? For him,
He spent it at the strip club Saturday night.
no question. And the only thing he has going for him is that he has his own company. Promotion company,
yeah.
which is monstrous, and it's going to work in Vegas always, and he'll always have an income to be able to go throw it on a team or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like he does. So, all right.
Real quick, though.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk of, is this going to happen again? Is there more guys that are going to make this transition, especially Conor, which he did show some flashes. This would have been Conor's easiest fight in a boxing ring. Because now that there's tape on him, all these other boxers who aren't 40, who aren't in it for a show, who are looking to make a name for themselves, are coming out and knocking his block off. Like the rest of the guys, like the closest division to him is the 140-pound division. 147, I'm sorry. That is the deepest division in boxing right now. I mean, you got Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. These guys are they're the same size, and they throw it with some hammer. So, Conor, take the money, go back to what you do, be the star you are. Yep. I just don't think there's much left because he's not going to get another easier fight. This was, as strange as it sounds, to fight the greatest boxer of all time, or one of, the easiest fight he was going to get.
Yeah, and it's a great business decision.
Yeah.
So
of course.
For sure.
Simple there. Some injuries. Right. We talk about, obviously, Edelman out, Spencer Ware, two of the bigger ones that are out for Kansas City. Me personally, I don't think that's as big. It's still big for them, but they have other backs there. They got interchangeable parts.
Let's just real quick. I mean, let's answer Fantasy Dominance Now's poll question from the other day. What's the biggest loss? Is it Edelman, Spencer Ware, or Cameron Meredith?
I went Spencer Ware.
Yeah, I would go Spencer Ware in that poll question just because they have Cooks in New England.
See, I'm actually going Cam Meredith because if you look at, New England has a ton of weapons, and Kansas City, they've got Kareem Hunt, they still have Sharkandrick West. They've got Tyreek Hill. They've got Travis Kelce. It's a big loss for them, but losing Cam Meredith basically was half of the Bears' offense. The only weapons they have were Cameron Meredith and Jordan Howard.
Right.
And now what's going to happen is without that threat on the outside, they're going to put 8 men in the box and dare the Bears to run the ball against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't think he was going to be that big of a threat, period, to where he was a big loss. You're right in that, but that team's not going to be very good.
Yeah. No question.
In terms of the teams that are competing.
New England throws the ball around enough. They rotate 7 backs, 7 running backs, 12 wide receivers.
Cooks is going to have a monster year, like I said earlier on, and it's even going to be bigger now.
Oh, I agree, and that's why he was a target in every single one of mine.
But here's the thing, you just start throwing names out there. Obviously, Gronk, Brandon Cooks, still have Danny Amendola, still have Chris Hogan. You got James White out of the backfield. You got Deion Lewis out of the backfield, and I haven't even mentioned Malcolm Mitchell yet.
Right.
So, anybody that doesn't think that New England is going to be fine, you're crazy. You're out of your mind.
We didn't even have to talk about who's behind center. You know what I mean? We didn't have to get it.
Who's that?
Yeah, we didn't have to get into goat life.
Goat.
We didn't have to talk goats. But no, I think we can all agree that it's not. Edelman's a big loss. I'm not taking anything away from it. But it's not.
He's not irreplaceable.
It doesn't hurt as much as Ware hurts in a way. In Kansas City can get away with it because they have other guys to do it, and they have arguably the best defense in football. So that's why I took him as the first defense off the board in a fantasy draft because they're that good defensively.
Sure. No question.
So they can get away with it. And so can New England. The Bears, they stunk anyway. So maybe none of them. maybe you could say all 3 of them just don't matter because they got other guys there. It's next man up.
Fair.
The way it is in New England, so you can take Edelman right off the goddamn board. And then you go to Spencer Ware. I like Spencer Ware a ton, but now you don't even know if he's going to even come back well enough from this injury. And you have Kareem Hunt and you have West.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're there. You got pieces there. And the Bears didn't have pieces anyway. Zeke, anything less? Does it get reduced?
I actually think he gets nothing this year because I think we're going to see another situation with Tom Brady.
Wow.
I think this thing stays in court for the entire season, and he plays pretty much the whole year and then as soon as the season's over, they cut it from 6 to 3, and he serves his 3 next year.
I could very well and easily see that happen. That scenario is spot on. Couldn't agree with it more, and I could see that happening too.
Yeah.
The fact that it's been, what did he do it yesterday morning?
Yeah.
Or it was yesterday afternoon and this morning. 2 days he was in court.
Yep, and there isn't the answer yet. It's going to be, I think I could easily see it being drawn out.
For sure.
And going into the next year and it getting reduced a little bit.
I think it goes to 4, and it's this year. So, I just think it gets reduced a little bit because I think it's ultimately what they wanted was 4, but they knew it was going to be appealed and they knew we were going to knock it down. So they hit you hard over the head, and then
you think they can get away? You think in terms of the Cowboys and Ezekiel, you think they can get away with getting it off until next year?
Oh, I definitely see that. He brought that up, and that's an absolute scenario.
I was just going back to it again, just to say.
There's no question that that's not a scenario, especially with probably the team of lawyers that Jerry Jones is paying right now.
Exactly, and you're a week away from the start of the NFL season, and he's been practicing, correct?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he played with the first team on Saturday.
Yeah.
In their game.
Well, and the other thing that I think is real interesting, kind of in the same related realm. So Vontaze Burfict gets 5, he appeals, and they immediately knock it down to 3. To me, this is the new NFL, where if they want you to sit for 3, they're going to give you 5 or 6 and let you appeal it and knock it down to what they want to sit you for.
Yeah, no, it's smart. It's smart business.
Get that guy out of the league, by the way.
Burfict. Yeah, he's a problem.
He is a problem.
Yeah. You would love him on your team, though.
Oh, I do. Every time I see that guy, I go, because I think there was a chance that we could have drafted him.
Yeah.
And he was one of those guys who just kept falling and falling.
He's an animal.
Because of the reasons, but he is an absolute animal.
He's old school football. You come across my path, I'm taking your head off. I mean, these are trained assassins too.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I know people say it's easy, but these guys are trained to go out there and be the aggressor, especially on defense, especially at a linebacker position. You're trained. You're not one-trick ponies, but you know what I mean. You have an agenda out there, and the agenda is I'm hunting, and you come across my path, so be it.
And you're not looking.
Yeah, and you're not 5 yards. I'm taking you down.
Right, but I mean, in this scenario, it's a clean hit. It's a violent, vicious hit, but it's a clean hit. But it's the reputation with him.
Perception.
It's perception.
Perception's all what it is.
I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily clean, but I do agree that the perception and who it was.
Clean within the rules. It was shoulder to chest.
It's like an unwritten.
Yeah.
Where you try not to do that to guys.
Like for example, I had a conversation with my buddy Mike, who's a referee at the high school level, and he teams with me on Section 247. And he was saying, and we were both agreeing, a guy like Luke Kuechly makes that hit. That's because it's a football hit. I'm making a statement that you're not going to come across the middle of my field not looking at me.
Right.
Burfict makes a hit. It's a problem because that's what he does.
Right.
And that's the guy. So you're right. I mean, you're right, but he's got to go.
So we got some things chiming in before we get out of here.
All right.
Todd Womack, what's up? What's good, guys? What up, Todd?
What's up, buddy?
Alex Ocasio took Kareem Hunt in the 5th round of my fantasy. Hope it pays off. LOL. I think it definitely will.
Any of mine.
Yeah, I think you got a steal there.
When does a young Andy Reid running back not perform?
True.
Yeah, true story. Todd Womack, which running back do you guys see getting cut, and should the Eagles get them? I don't see anybody getting cut.
Any name value running backs? I don't.
No, I don't see anybody getting cut that's worthy. I think they're going to go in with what they have.
But I think his premise is there. Like if somebody does go, especially at the running back, and as we talked, briefly at the quarterback because of the Nick Foles factor. If somebody of name does get out there, you're probably going to get at least a phone call.
I could see them going after another quarterback before I could another running back. Just me.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, they're already having enough time figuring out who they're going to put on the roster at running back. If they go out and get another one, who goes?
Well, you would go because it makes the decision easier. I'm going to take this guy and make this guy out.
Listen, any chance you have a chance to upgrade your team, you do it.
Sure.
Alex Casio, last one. I'm hearing the NFL has been really inconsistent with their evidence, so we'll see in terms of Zeke.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he did I think Zeke was testifying for himself.
He did.
So,
He
I mean,
did.
that goes to show that maybe there is some inconsistency to Alex's point of why would you potentially perjure yourself if the case was as stone cold lock as.
Well, and most of the time players don't even bother showing up.
Right.
They send their attorney and their agent, and they let them handle the appeal.
True. Alex Casio said, I still want Mark Ingram. And I said, yeah, of course, he's a workhorse. You don't, I'll take him too. I got no issues there.
Ingram or Blunt?
Ingram.
I agree. Yeah. I'm just throwing it because that's
we've been doing that. Yeah.
Well, but that's the guy that's the Blunt move.
Right.
That's a guy.
That's
the guy that would be.
New Orleans doesn't give him up. The only thing they have behind him right now is an aging Adrian Peterson and Alvin Kamara, who is a rookie with a ton of potential, but has not played a snap in the NFL. So
Very true. All right, boys. We good here?
Good stuff.
Signing off.
We're out.
Good night.
Thank you guys all on YouTube for listening,
Thanks, guys.
Facebook, everywhere else. For another edition of Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
HUDradio.com. We thank Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountant. Make them yours. GibsonMayer.com. Facebook, Gibson Mayer LLC. The new soap standard, SoapStash.com.
Soap Stash.
On the book, SoapStash LLC. Scanzano Sports, Sports Outlet. Who did I miss? BMW. I cover them all.
I think so.
I think I covered them all. We already do Tom and Mike? It's late. Did we already say that?
For Greg Milakovic, Tom Arnone, I'm Mike Mataraki. Get us the hell out of here.
Yeah, signing off. We're out.
Peace.
Peace.